With Instacart, you can get groceries and more delivered from over 1,000 stores and 75,000 locations. So whether you need a massive haul from a wholesale club, everyday essentials from your go-to supermarket, or specialty items from your favorite local grocer, you can get whatever you need delivered in as fast as an hour. You can even shop for pet supplies, electronics, and sporting goods in just a few clicks. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first order. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3747. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike and 2 are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorites, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
All right, here we go. I-55 in Tennessee closes down after a massive Alfredo sauce spill. Meanwhile, a pilot tells passengers airdropping nudes, that'll keep the plane still. And they sat there. So they stopped on the runway. Huge shipment of baby wipes was really $12 million worth of cocaine. The amount of tomatoes spilled on California freeway is truly insane. And a woman calls 911 after getting stuck upside down at the gym. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, this has been quite a week for people who work with animals. We told you on Monday about the logger in Thailand. He was working with an elephant that didn't feel like working, and to prove its point, the elephant literally ripped the guy in half. We also told you about a worker at an animal park in Sweden who was gored to death by an antelope. Now we have the story of Greg Graziani. That's the wildlife director of Florida Gator Gardens. Well, he did not die, but he did lose his hand after an alligator bite. They labeled the incident an occupational hazard. Fair enough. Every job has some kind of occupational hazard. Look, we're all familiar with the uptick in insanity at fast food joints, right? It could be the man who climbed through the Wendy's drive-thru window to steal cash out of the register. Or the woman who climbed through a Jack-in-the-Box window, yelled at employees until she was given a packet of ranch dressing, and then climbed back out of the drive-thru window. Or the other guy, the homeless guy, he climbed through a Taco Bell drive-thru window. Now, he didn't steal anything. He didn't even yell at anyone. But he was naked. And he laid on the kitchen floor. And he refused to leave. Because that's what happens in the fast food world now. Occupational hazard. Hell, you don't even have to go to a restaurant to be in danger. A little bit closer to home, in Tequila, a DoorDash driver was the victim of a carjacking. She's just trying to deliver somebody the fries. And then an armed guy comes up and tries to steal the car. The good news is she ended up being okay. She did quit DoorDash. Said she's having a little PTSD about that. But look, it doesn't matter the job that you have. Something can go wrong. Hell, maybe you're a lifeguard and you don't check the chemical levels in the pool. You'll be fired. Maybe you don't show up at BKU because they They changed the schedule. Because they changed the schedule. Not a good enough excuse, Miles. You're out of work. So today, we just want to know, whatever your job has been, whatever it is now, what went really wrong at work?
Be a part of the Big Show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Michelle's away we go. Welcome to Season 17, episode number 3747. What a large and charged program we have for you today. I said large.
There we go.
Charge.
Yes.
Program we have for today. Guaranteed future repeat. Exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You comb through, just pages and pages of news articles looking for negative ones.
Negative ones. And it's hard to do, man, because typically when you look at the news, it is just knuckle-dragging, knee-slapping funny.
And somehow every week
I would call it bubbly. Bubbly. It is a bubbly experience to go through the news, yes.
And we take these stories and we pit them up against each other to determine, because they all suck, which one sucks the least. So
Correct.
How are we looking this week on Who Sucks Less?
There's a certain common theme that goes through all three stories. It's not the worst this week, right, Mike? I mean, it's you're just kind of like, okay, how does this happen?
I like that. I like not the worst.
It's fairly cringy, just based on how bad these stories are.
Well, Ted asked me today, said, how bad is Who Sucks Less? I said, man, really, it's not that bad. Then I came back with a caveat. It's never good. It's just not that bad.
And I made the mistake of asking him and not you, Mike. So Mike just said it's cringy. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I mean...
Because sometimes I ask Mike and he just shakes his head.
Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. A shake of the head is worth 1,000 words.
And as we do every Monday through Friday, we head on over to the Odyssey app exclusively for the Men's Room Happy Hour. Today we bring you episode number 237. If you do not have the Odyssey app, download it now. It is absolutely free. And then from there, what you want to do is search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. Now, that only goes live when we go live, Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock. So if you haven't checked it out yet, hopefully you can do so today. Keep in mind, that is an adult-only segment we do, and we offer you more Men's Room. As the language and the sometimes the content is a little bit it's a little bit on the adult side, so to speak. Not all the time, but enough to the point where we encourage you not to listen with kids around. Yeah. And today on the question, we're going to talk about what went really wrong at work. We'll start with this one. A video that showed the embarrassing moment a customer climbed barefoot through a drive-through window has gone viral. At the beginning of the video, a woman who is barefoot and wearing sweatpants can be seen standing inside the Jack in the Box kitchen, arguing with employees. She then yells at the employees for several seconds and calls one a bitch until she's given a packet of ranch dressing.
That's always the magic word. What's the magic word? Bitch! There you go.
That's what I thought, the woman said before making her way over to the drive-through window. The moment she disappeared from frame, the man videoing moved around to the restaurant's front counter to get a better view of the woman. Did she climb through the window, he asked. She climbed through the window. That is correct. Sure enough, the woman then twerks on the counter attached to the drive-through window before climbing through the window and into her car. Twerk for me, said the man as he walked away, the man who was filming all this. They say between labor shortages and increased drive-through orders, drive-through times in general have slowed down, according to CNN. And I'm sure this kind of held things up for a minute, but it's really not on the
Probably a little bit.
And that was for a ranch.
A packet of ranch.
Yes.
That's it.
But we're
That's
not done, Ted. A homeless man was arrested after exposing himself at a Taco Bell on 4th Street North Saturday night.
I want to see my chalupa.
We go to St. Petersburg, Florida. Christopher Vern Stratton, 33, climbed through the drive-through window fully naked at 10:30, fourth meal. He then laid on the kitchen floor and refused to leave.
Come on, man.
Stratton was charged with exposure of sexual organs, which is a misdemeanor in the state of Florida.
Is it? That makes sense in Florida.
Mm-hmm. It's not the worst thing. Do you want one more on just the same?
Get one more.
Just the same idea.
Just so you know, if you Google that, it is countless pages, specifically the drive-through window.
Police in Orlando, Florida, are asking for help from community to identify the person spotted crawling through a fast food drive-through window to steal cash from the register. The incident occurred on June 18th at the Wendy's at the Universal Orlando Resort. Police say a man ordered food in the drive-thru line, pulled up to the window, and threatened an employee with a gun after being asked for payment. The employee ran from the window, at which point the driver climbed through and took the cash drawer. After stealing the cash, the driver fled the scene in a black Nissan Altima. Police released security footage of the incident in hopes of identifying the person, who they described as thin and light-skinned, who was wearing what appeared to be beach attire. His face was covered by a mask or hooded shirt. He was seen wearing a straw hat, water shoes, and board shorts. So You know this guy.
Come on.
You would think, though, that there's enough cameras in the world that even on the outside of a Wendy's, you would be able to get a license plate.
Yeah, they could probably get the license plate at least, right? And they know what the car looks like. Look, of those three scenarios, all right, I'm working fast food. Guy comes up, threatens me with a gun, he steals money. It pisses me off, but you understand the rationale. Theft is theft. You want money. The money's right there. Fine. Crazy lady twerking for a package of ranch.
That's the least, as far as who sucks less goes.
I think it's naked guy. Because he didn't do anything.
He's naked.
But I can still work.
It's unnecessary penis.
And it doesn't interfere with me. Like, he's just on the floor. He's naked. He's established that he's not going to leave. No, but I'm like, I still got to make cheeseburgers, dog.
Everything that I've heard from you, and I trust your opinion on this. You said if anybody ever comes in my kitchen, I'm going to stab and I'm going to kill.
That's correct.
Regardless of the reason.
I'm going to stab them. If they die, that is a
thank
you, Drago.
That is
if they die.
That is a rule. That is a rule that I've had etched in my head ever since you continue to state this rule.
But it's intent. The man that I directly threatened to stab in the chest with a knife walked into my kitchen and was giving us grief. And it's like, well, I'm going to stab your ass.
What if he just walked in with his penis out?
We would ask him to leave. But honest to God, if he just stood in the corner,
that
I'd
would
be like,
different.
Because I'm busy.
Is it?
I'm busy. So when you come in and complain, it's like, I'm going to stab you because I don't have time to deal with it. If you're just standing in the corner and your wang's out, I don't understand it. I'm not happy about it, but I got things to do.
What if he's eating an apple or something?
Right, but if he's just there naked in the corner, like, I feel like and you're just like, what are you doing in here, dude?
Right, I can still work.
As opposed to the guy that came in and is like, where is my food?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the woman who came in.
So you won't always be stabbed in Thrill's kitchen, but if you come in with attitude, you're getting stabbed.
The woman who climbed through the Jack-in-the-Box window.
Right.
All she did was she came through the window.
Wait a minute, that was a Jack-in-the-Box?
That was a Jack.
The one at Ranch?
All right, that makes a different story. Their ranch is great.
And she did not assault anyone. She was not naked.
Well, she yelled at the people back there.
She said, hey, you're a bitch.
She did assault them. It was not battery.
Well,
legally speaking.
I mean, did she throw something at them?
No, but she called the woman a bitch.
Oh, so that's...
So it's assault and battery, right? So the battery's the part where I make contact with your ass.
Assault is if I say you're a bitch?
Yeah, like if you go up to a cop, like the one cop you want to touch his mustache. Well, Jesus Christ. And the guy's like, if you touch it, you're under arrest. That would be battery. Because you laid hands.
Okay.
If you just stood
hands
there
on the man
and said, I hate your stupid, ugly-ass mustache, I believe that would just be assault.
Okay, all right. But either way, she twerked.
Is it?
I think.
I think technically he could have trashed the mustache. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
Right. Well, no, Miles did not dislike this cop's mustache.
I loved it. I thought I was very impressed.
He just wanted to touch the cop's mustache.
I know the story, but it's in front of a show?
It was in front of the Paramount.
Like, I'm glad you didn't go to jail, but there's part of me that wishes you had touched it.
If you had called and said, hey, man, I had to go to jail. I assaulted an officer. What did you do? I touched his mustache.
But not only was it one of those, it was a show. Like, it was a show, it was like Temple of the Dog or something.
Right.
Like something you do not want.
Oh, I had dinner with you that night. You were on a good one.
I was on a roll. Yeah. Yeah, probably so. I mean, if I'm saying stuff like that, if I'm saying stuff like that to a cop.
Imagine you just, how close did your finger get?
Yeah, just take one little finger and trace the stash.
I had a streak going there for a while. All right, question. What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
All right, a text came in. There is no context to this text, all right? But regarding today's question, it just says this. It's crazy how many customers crap their pants. Can you please tell me where you work? I want to know, where do you work where there's a shockingly high number of people that
I'm going to say a coffee shop.
Coffee shop?
That's coffee.
Coffee just kind of get your
I mean, how does I go to Starbucks? Oh, my God, sorry.
I mean, you know how that trigger. I mean, it really does. Doesn't it? Is it just me?
That fast?
No, I mean, coffee gets me going, but I can make it to the toilet.
Man, oh, man.
I'm saying she works at a stadium. Well, no, she said customers.
Yes, it just says it's crazy how many customers crap their pants.
You got to remember, people are hanging out in coffee shops for longer than most other retail places.
Sure, right.
But so they're in there for an hour,
bathrooms, man.
They do, but if you slip on a fart,
fair. That's fair.
And you're drinking coffee.
I don't think I try not to fart if I'm drinking coffee.
Right, because it's a bad idea.
Because it's a diuretic.
Right? I'm guessing fast food. I don't know why. I'm just guessing fast food.
There was a video.
Can I use your bathroom? I crap my pants.
And I don't know if you saw this video because I believe you were on vacation, so you probably weren't checking everything. But there was a guy from New Jersey. I think he's got like a Jersey handle, like Jersey Jerry or something like this.
Yes, and Jersey Jerry.
And I'm not sure if this was a Barstool thing or what the deal was, but he does this confessional where he's like, it happened to me today. I was on the train, and I walked away, and I crapped my pants. And basically, then he pans down. He's like, and I mean, they're destroyed.
It was a lot of crap.
They are cream-colored shorts in the first place. And he absolutely destroyed the back of these things. And you can tell that he was just like...
It was so gross. He was like really busted up about it.
Yeah, he was.
It's never happened to me before. I'm a grown man. Listen, but I'm man enough to admit this. I asked myself on the train. People, they were looking at me, probably because the big yellow stain. There was a mountain of poop sitting in there.
It is definitely one of those things in life. It's not like losing your virginity. It's the opposite of that in the worst possible way. Yeah. Because once you do that, you don't, maybe you're drunk and you do it when you're 18, 19 years old. And maybe you go to bed.
Did you do it?
No. Trust me.
Hell no.
I woke up in a pile of vomit. But I've never woken up not being able to, using back. The first time you slip on one, it's like you realize that your life is shorter now as far as how much time that you have left on this planet. You come to the conclusion that you don't have time. This is all downhill from here.
The first time you face your mortality,
you really do.
Is when you slip on a fart.
And it's just like, oh my God, I'm that age now. This is a real possibility for the rest of my life. And now for the rest of my life, I'm always going to wonder, is this a fart? And it never goes away. It's that it never goes away.
It's a game show you don't want to be on. Is this a fart?
Because once you open that dam, man, the water doesn't stop.
Right.
It never will. You just think about it every single time. You're like, is this going to be the one? And you go, ooh, okay, good thing, because it would have been. And then you go in there. Sometimes I'll just go in and sit down and just fart for 5 seconds.
Because you're not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm just trying
I still have to do that sometimes.
I'm trying to be careful. Because
sometimes I think you have to poop. You sit down and all you do is fart. And I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm at work. I got stuff to do. If it's just a fart, can you let me know? Can we get a signal or something?
And this is when you know you're getting old. Like I used to, for a while there before I had my my hemorrhoid surgery, I would keep a bag in my car that had an extra pair of shorts and it had an extra pair of underwear.
Oh, I thought, did you say to poop?
And it had an extra pair of socks. Just in case. Because I really had a hard time controlling. And then after the surgery, same
Why
thing.
socks?
If it runs.
Because I had a situation one time. And I needed new socks. Everything below the waist needs to be replaced.
Socks.
Yeah. Right down the leg, Ted.
Did you also have backup shoes?
No. I figured I could make do.
Nah, dude. Look, if you have to change your socks,
I know.
Because of that, you should also change your shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, was it leaking, or you actually just let it go and ran?
Just boom.
I feel like you would have enough time to save your socks.
Your socks recovered the instant.
Look, listen. I wasn't done, so I had to clinch up, right, and stand up real straight to keep the rest of it from blowing out. So when I stood, I was just like this, like, oh no. And I'm holding it. I'm just making sure that the rest does not come out. And in the meantime, just right down the leg.
Right, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing I can do. But I did keep the rest from coming out. I just didn't, work my way to the bathroom. God. Yeah. What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Real quick, before we go to the phones, told you the person they texted in just said a surprising number of people crap themselves, customers.
Yeah.
We're guessing where they work. I have not heard back yet, but we have some guesses from other listeners who saying the grocery store.
Okay.
Someone else says Taco Bell specifically.
All right.
A detox center. I've heard that. That's for sure.
Well, that one adds up.
That one adds up, but I don't think that'd be a surprising number of people. If you're working at a detox center, like if 50% poop themselves, you're like, it's just another day.
And I could fathom saying tacos or whatever, but that's usually the next morning.
Right. It doesn't happen when you're there.
Right. It's like, it's like the coffee thing.
Let's see. A lot of people crap themselves at the gym, so possibly they work at a gym. That makes sense.
That's
fair. Reasonable.
That is.
I get it.
Especially, doing squats.
Because sometimes you're there and, your stomach doesn't feel awesome, but it's like, well, I'm already here.
One more squat. I'm going to do it. That's why I don't go to the gym.
Oh, finally, we get a reason.
What's that?
Why you don't go to the gym?
Yeah, I don't want to put myself for that strenuous workout that I know I'll put in.
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Banging and clanging.
That's right, man.
How Thrill gets if he wasn't afraid of pooping.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So a little bit of a segue, I guess. Not the story I called about, but I had a coworker who crapped himself at work, ran to like a JCPenney's, bought another pair of shorts and pants, and then like 2 hours later did it again and decided to call it quits for the day.
I think if you do it
That's
once,
fair.
you call it quits.
If you do it once, you can go home.
We have a rule here at work. If you poop 3 times at work, you're allowed to go home.
Right, because there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, you should not be pooping.
Yeah.
There are not too many away games.
How do you poop yourself twice in one day, man?
Within hours. I have no idea.
Jesus.
But story I called in for, working with the same company. I worked for a big wireless company and managed the retail stores, and we'd have to check that our SIM cards were still in the phones every once in a while because folks would like to, lift those and get free service with all the bells and whistles.
Uh-huh.
So checking things out, we find one of the SIM cards is missing. Turns out it's been missing a while. Oops, guess we weren't doing that part of our job very well. So pop a new SIM card in, head to the back, doing my thing to activate it. And one of our customers starts checking out the phone that's now just blowing up with text messages and comes frantically over to us, very concerned about the content of these messages. And it turns out I interrupted mid-conversation between a drug dealer and his supplier who had not been paid.
Oh.
Wow. That's not good.
Yeah. So whoever took our SIM card was apparently dealing heroin and had not paid for said heroin and was now at the point of this conversation where he was going to have his throat slit and thrown in the Puget Sound.
And you're listening to this as it's going on.
Well, our phone started receiving the messages from the angry unpaid supplier because we just turned that phone number back onto our floor our phone on the floor of the store there.
Man, oh man, dude.
That's it.
How did the conversation end? Do you remember?
Well, so I started texting back like, "Hey, this is a corporate phone with Verizon."
Once again, bedroom callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
We'll get back to him.
Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Okay.
That's an exact quote, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No problem.
Yeah, don't give me that S. You need to meet me and pay up and this and that. So we, turned it over to local PD and let them take it from there.
Probably a good idea.
That drug dealer's going to be real pissed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right now you get busted because they got a hold of all your texts and you're trying to get your money. By the way, people still trying to figure out where this person must work, where they said a shocking number of customers crap themselves. A couple more texts come in. Some says, customers crapping. I've seen human excrement no less than 3 times at Walmart, and I don't work at one. And then someone else added, I've seen the crap at Walmart at least 4 times.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Probably people who are a little bit older.
I guess.
There's a wide variety of people that go to Walmart.
And apparently all of them will defecate themselves.
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
To all the texters out there, we still do not know where the person worked who said a shocking number of customers poop. We just don't know. Everyone's still guessing, but then you get other stories. It says, guys, I guess we were talking about things. You said maybe a coffee shop, maybe Taco Bell, things that
Walmart
have become, Walmart has shown up a lot. Somebody here says, guys, I started drinking coffee when my daughter was born. One day at work, I felt a fart coming. It was more than that. I had to throw my underwear away. Someone else points out, teriyaki always gets their bowels moving. And then someone here says, when I worked at Wild Waves, I had to clean poop from the side of the pool, the slide at the pool, and the line for elephant ears, just to name a few places. And what was the other one I was looking for here? I used to work at the Tulalip Walmart in Marysville. It was Black Friday. We had a really nice DSLR camera. Was that digital single lens? Basically, digital camera, you can change that to lens, right? They were on sale, but we were sold out. Well, this customer didn't scream like you would expect from adult-sized infants to do. She instead walked into the middle of the department, hiked up her skirt, pooped on the floor, and walked out. Good times. Hello, Deb. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. Yeah, how are you?
Sound great. I'm good. Doing great.
Good news.
I don't have a poop story, though.
That's
good
okay.
News.
That's okay.
Good news.
I could have a poop story. I used to own an adult family home.
Oh, my God, yeah. You probably have more poop stories than most.
Lots of poop stories. But I have a story. This was in 1976. I worked for a sponsor adoption agency in Oklahoma. And this was a place where people send in their money every month and adopt a child from another country and all that. So anyway, I worked in the label department. I labeled all the envelopes and ran the labeling machine, and there was a knob that's on the labeling machine with sandpaper all the way around it to bring off the excess. Well, I had really, really long hair, and my hair started wrapping around that round thing that just keeps going and going and going.
How fast is this thing spinning?
Pretty fast. It was happening fast, and I just panicked. I was sitting there, and it was getting closer and closer to my head. Hair was starting to get pulled out. And there's a little, right along the side of the machine, right in front of me, was a thing you just tap, and it stops the machine. But I couldn't think to do that. So one of my coworkers saw me, and it was down to my skull.
Oh.
And they stopped the machine for me, thank goodness. And I still had most of my hair.
I was going to say, were you able to unwind it, or
you just cut it?
Yeah, I had to unwind it. It took quite a while, but it was all wrapped in this sandpaper. And they didn't have rules back then where you have to have your hair back or up out of the way or anything like that. It was just come as you are. But
I'm going to guess that you started pulling your hair back without being asked after that.
I absolutely did.
Yeah. That is terrifying.
It was not fun, but that was what happened to me at work.
Did it draw any blood or anything?
In a couple of places it did. Just kind of tore away from the scalp. But it wasn't too terrible.
No, that's pretty terrible. It just could have been worse. That sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm. I was very young, and I overcame. So, way it goes.
That reminds me of I worked at a Department of Human Services in high school. I was a file clerk during the summer, which basically meant whatever cases the different social workers had for the day, people who were coming in, I would get those files out for them.
Okay.
So I was like basically in charge of the filing area.
You ever flip through the files, see what's up with people?
There are some families that have been on welfare for 30, 40 years. Mm-hmm. I mean, just one generation to another. Sure. You go and you pull the most current file, and they maybe will have 6, 7 cases a day. So that's kind of how it works. Well, and then you put them back in at the end of the day.
Right.
At least once a week, somebody would call in and threaten to come in and shoot up the office.
Because?
Well, their kids were taken away from them.
Okay. So there's real bad cases going on there.
People would get some of their welfare checks or funding cut, or if they had a child that was 18 years old, then the food stamps or the relief would be different.
Right, so they get less money.
That person would have to then apply as an adult.
Sure.
For those services. And they're not even if you live in the same home, you're considered not a child anymore. And therefore, that number goes down.
Right.
So you still have 3 mouths to feed in the house. But once you turn 18,
you can go do something about it.
You can go do something about it. So now you're getting money for 2.
Mm-hmm.
So people would, come by and squeal their tires in front of the building, and do burnouts in the middle of the street and, scream crap out the window.
That always works to your advantage when you do that.
But when they were calling, like, I'm going to come in, and so we would get the day off. They'd shut the office down.
That's probably good. How many times, during a summer, how many times?
At least once a week,
really?
We would get a threatening call. Didn't always say I was going to come in and shoot the place up.
Right.
But it was at least once a week where someone would say, hey, look, we're going to send the social worker home just for their protection. Because if this person does come in, it's personal. Because this person physically was there when their children were removed from the home and the premise. So they've got one person in mind, bless you. They're going to come in and do that.
Well, plus if their money gets cut too, they're going to blame the specific social worker as opposed to it's the system.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right. Well, I decided to go with a different story since we've been talking about poop. All right. So I was starting a new job, and I was really excited. I woke up the following morning, but I had a really, really bad headache. So I called the girlfriend, which is now my wife, and she worked at a grocery store. And I said, hey, we're out of ibuprofen. Can you bring some home? And she goes, yeah, I'll bring some home. So I decided to go rummaging through her secret little stash, and I found this white pill inside of a bag. And I looked at it, and this was before we had cell phones, right? So I'm looking at this pill, and it says like IBP 600 on it or something. I'm like, ibuprofen, yes. So
perfect.
I grab it, and I head to the kitchen and pour a big old glass of milk, and I just down this thing. And about an hour later, she comes home with the ibuprofen and says, oh, I got the ibuprofen. And I looked at her, and I said, I found one in your secret stash. And she looks at me with like a worried look on her face, and she storms to the bathroom. And then she comes back a few minutes later. She goes, I don't want to scare you or anything, but you just took an ultra strength laxative.
Oh! And this is your first day of work.
First day of work, and she proceeds to tell me, you'll be fine. Just don't drink milk with it.
Oh, no.
So I'm looking at the glass on the table that's completely just a ring around it now, and I'm like, oh, no, what's happening? Long story short, it was a horrible first night of work. I spent 3/4 of it in the bathroom.
What was the job? What kind of job were you doing?
You're going to love this. I was an airline ramp agent, bringing airplanes in.
Oh, God,
that's a lot.
So you had to spend 3/4 of the shift in an airport bathroom?
Yeah, it was terrible, man. I can't even tell you how miserable it was. I, to this day, still have fears of, guys out there listening, just leave your girl stuff alone. Don't even try to do, I'm serious. That's one way to get hurt really bad.
Why did she have an ultra strength laxative in the first place?
She was going through a pregnancy.
Okay. Say no more. Yep. I've been there.
I'll also give you a little advice from my perspective on that too. As far as just taking something of your girlfriend or wife.
Right.
Don't ever pack their toiletries in your bag or luggage if you're going to the airport. Here's why. Someone will say, are all the items, if they pull you aside,
right,
and they do the inspection, are all the things in the suitcase yours? Yes. Did anyone give you anything to put in there? I can't remember the question exactly. Whatever.
Right, but yeah, that's
all
standard
this stuff.
stuff.
Unknown to you, pack anything that doesn't belong to you.
You open it up, the first thing on top is this, I mean, and women have tons of pills.
Right.
They love pills. Everywhere you go, they got pills. You know what I mean?
I know.
So
it's crazy.
Then opening up, and all this stuff is prescription drugs.
And here
Xanax, Percocet, Vicodin, migraine medication. You name it.
And you just claimed ownership
all this
of all
stuff
of
is
it.
yours. Why doesn't it have your name on, sir?
It's just as bad as when my wife sends me to the store to find tampons now.
See, I don't mind that because with the tampon thing, they know that they're not for me, right? And they probably understand the scenario, but in my case, this is years ago, I have to grab tampons because I'm at the store. I'm like, fine. I didn't realize there's so many different types of tampons, right? For obvious reasons, it doesn't apply to me. So I'm in this aisle, and one side of the entire aisle is nothing but tampons. So now I'm like, and again, this is pre-cell phone, so I'm like, I don't know what to get. So this woman that works at the store, she was very nice, and she's kind of smiling. She's like, sir, do you need help? I said, I do, man. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking at, right?
That's me.
So she goes, is she heavy flow? I'm like, I don't know.
Buy the variety pack.
No, what I did, I said, I'm not trying to be personal. I said, what do you buy? So she kind of gave me a look, but she pulled down. I was like, good enough. I'll take these.
I trust your Waheen.
Yeah, man. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's heavy flow. I don't know.
Also, at that point, it's critical mass. They just need a tampon.
I know they just need a tampon, but also, apparently, it is the guy's birthright to always buy the wrong thing if you're buying it on behalf of the woman in your life.
Also, here,
right? It doesn't matter what it is.
I've definitely been on a double date before where, the two girls, I looked at my buddy, I was like, we should just leave. And he's like, what do you mean? Because, it was he had only been out with the one girl once. I had brought this girl out. But they were gone for, 20 minutes. I was like, I think they're just gone.
Oh, so you think they ghosted you?
Yeah. So he's like, we should wait 5 more minutes. We wait, and they come back. And then I'm just like, well, what is the deal?
Right.
I needed a tampon right then. Oh, I shouldn't have asked.
It's tampon talk, and it's funny. You pick up on this as you get older, but a complete stranger at the bar will walk over to the woman that you were with at the bar. They've never met each other, and it's a very quiet conversation that you can't hear. Yeah. And you'll always see, like, your wife like reaches in her purse, and it's a very discreet thing. And the first couple of times I saw it, because you'll just see other people do it too, and I'm always like, tampon exchange. It's tampon exchange. That's the only time, unless you were selling drugs, when you walk up to a stranger and it's two women, they chat, and they've never met each other, and you see one reach into the purse and just slide something in her hand, and all you can see, I'm like, she needs a tampon.
Oh, yeah. It's worse when it's, Dad, yeah, honey, what's up? Do you don't have any tampons here, do you?
What?
Me? Right. Do I have tampons, like, on the ready? No. Well, should we go get some? Yeah. Can you go? Because I don't really want to get up.
Oh.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
I'll take care of you.
I like that.
You take care of you. What do I buy? You know, like, oh no.
Did you stockpile them after that just for, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they both use different things.
I know, but the daughter's coming over. I saw the boss. So look, under my sink, there's one of each. Whichever one you guys use, go ahead and use it. But they're there.
Right. I bought the variety pack.
What was it, like buying a variety pack of cereals or something?
Very much so.
There is. Yes. Because I used to have some in my house.
I'm learning so much.
I used to keep a variety pack of tampons and extra toothbrushes.
That's a good call.
Good idea.
That's a good call, man.
For your, and that was part of the gift basket that you would give out.
Well, sometimes you have an unexpected guest.
Right.
Sometimes the unexpected guest has an unexpected guest.
Right. You go like, I got you covered.
Headshot of you? What else is in here? This is crazy. What's really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
What else is in here? It's a sausage.
You know, Jeter denied that.
What, you have a gift basket?
Yeah. That he ever really did.
He would have to. But I refuse. I believe it's
I believe that he did.
I want to believe it's real.
Because it's a power move, man.
Yeah.
If I had his money, his looks, I'm single, I'm athletic, like, hell yeah, here's a gift basket.
But also, Derek Jeter, like, we know all the famous women he's dated. But, like, obviously there was other women he hooked up with. But we've never heard from any of them.
You know why? Because they were happy about the gift basket.
Exactly. The gift basket worked.
Well, no, I knew of a crew that ran, because I knew one of the ladies involved. But she and her friends, that was basically their when baseball teams came into town.
Oh, to hook them up.
Yeah, they from Baltimore, man. I mean, you name it, Red Sox players, Yankees, Blue Jays, the whole deal. They all knew somebody.
Baseball teams, sailors, truckers. Like there's certain professions where there is this group outside of military bases, right?
The best tickets, and that's why one of the reasons, because I worked. This girl was a sales girl, and I worked with her. And she knew Roberto Alomar. She knew, I mean, you name it. They go drinking. They get the best tickets. So I'd always be like, dude, you know, if you really wanted to go to a game, like Cal Ripken's last game, she was the second person I contacted to see if I could get tickets.
Have you hooked him up yet?
You know what I mean? Like, you tell me you can get a ticket. She's like,
give him a hug, give me a ticket. Come on.
Give me a ticket. I ended up getting a ticket, not by her.
Right.
But that was kind of like, I know a couple people. See if I can pull this off.
It goes both ways, though. Like, some of the women's like professional teams, you'd be surprised who you'd see at like their games.
I mean, look, I don't know if they like you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, all right.
Good for you.
Hell
yeah. What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jerry. Welcome to the men's room.
Weed, whiskey, and wenches.
Hola!
So, this week, Monday afternoon, I'm blasting the dust off a newly routed pair of A-boards. Suddenly, the lights in the shop get extremely dim. The vacuum pump on the router gets really, really slow. And I turn it off. Turns out one of the phases of our power for the whole building just suddenly burned out.
And so you just could not work anymore?
Correct. So I T-molded until the tank of the compressor ran out of pressure, and I left a half hour early that day. Now I'm on day 2 of a surprise vacation, enjoying the great, beautiful weather we're having.
Okay. That doesn't sound like anything went wrong.
That sounds like everything went right.
Yeah,
it's beyond your control.
Some of the greatest work days I've had is when the frickin' power went out. You know, oh, man, we got to close. Like, okay. Sure, man, I'll go home. I mean, if the power went, here's the problem we have. All right, here's the problem with radio. If a power goes out, we have goddamn backup generators. Those sons of bitches are like, the lights are off.
When I was a landscaper, I would pray for rain.
Oh, of course.
I hated that job. If there was rain, and I told you, every time we went to a lawn, Bernie'd be like, "Is it long enough to cut?" Nope. And then if there was one drop, we better knock off.
Right. Let's go home, dude.
That's what sucks about radio. The worse it gets, the more you're obligated to come in.
That's true. But at the heart of what our job
hurricanes,
is, right?
Feet of snow. You need to get there. You need to be able to distribute this information. I know, but everyone else is having fun.
Right.
All my neighbors are at the bar.
And what are you going to tell people they don't know? It's a hurricane.
They walk there.
Everyone here knows that because it's a hurricane. Yeah. All I do, I can go on the radio and be like, some hurricane we're having, huh? I have no information for you, dude. You know.
Right. We need you to drive to work so you can tell people that the roads are dangerous.
I remember, if you got 8 feet of snow, we'd have to drag our ass in there.
We will.
To tell people, guess what? You know why you're off today? Assuming your home has windows, look outside. Now, see all that white fluffy crap all over the ground and your car's covered? That's why you're home. And I'm here to let you know that there's a lot of snow outside in case you're stupid.
You've heard this story, but it thrills in the studio. I have been covering the studio for 17, 18 hours straight. This guy comes in and gives me a gift certificate for $20.
It was 25.
25.
Royal Farms or something.
Right. Now, I didn't know at the time, but I'm like, who the F is that guy? And Thrill's like, that's our GM.
That's our boss.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But right. Your boy was tired and angry. Can I go home?
Right.
My guy was up one morning at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's a hurricane blowing through at night, which is the worst time for a hurricane to hit because it's more chaos than you can possibly imagine because you just can't see what's going on in the sky. You can't see anything. So 2 o'clock in the morning, I got to go in. I lift the garage door up and I look and there is a tree across my driveway, no more than 3 feet away from my door. Luckily, this tree did not hit my house. That is a good thing. But I cannot get my car out of the garage. Then I realized that my neighbor is awake because they've got a light on. I went over to his house. I was like, Greg, man, do you have a chainsaw? He's like, sure. We were chainsawing wood
at 2 in the morning.
At 2:15 in the morning to break this tree into pieces so I could pull the goddamn car out because I had to go to work.
To tell people what they already know.
To tell people to stay off the road.
Yeah, stay home.
Don't go anywhere. That'd be the dumbest thing you could do.
Dangerous.
Why would you do that? Stupid. What really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
What went really, really, really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Say hello to Jordan. Jordan, welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola!
So, my story goes from where I'm working. So, we were framing this 40-foot wall, and we're about 10 of us guys are pushing it up. And we put the supports in to keep it straight up. And what we didn't look at was one of the supports weren't in correctly, so the wall started teetering, and it fell back, and it fell right onto my foot. Ooh. Luckily enough, I had some steel toes on, and it completely just crushed my boot. I mean, my toes were bruised, swollen. They did not look pretty.
Would you have had toes if you didn't have steel toe boots?
Oh, no, I would definitely not. These were like 2x6 planks at the top of the wall. And so when they fell back, it just slammed right on the middle of the steel toe. It completely broke the boot, and so I had to go replace them. These boots were like $200, $300 boots. And
that's why they cost that much. But they're clearly worth it, man.
Oh yeah, I was thankful because I don't know what I would have done without my toes.
That's a fair thing to question.
Yeah.
What would you do without? Well, you wouldn't wear flip flops.
Be a kicker.
No, there was a kicker or punter as a kicker. Who was the guy? He had like a square. I want to say he's like missing a couple of toes on one of his feet.
Tom Dempsey.
He
had a record for probably 30, 40 years for the longest field goal in history.
Right. Think about
I want to say Jason Elam.
Was he missing all of his toes, or was it a few? I remember it was.
He had like a square.
Yeah, the square shoe.
He might have been in Vietnam, or he might have been born with a club foot. I cannot remember what the story is.
Right, but like the guy was missing toes. Maybe not.
He
all
was
of them.
missing half his foot.
It was half of his foot.
Oh yeah, and he kicked straight on.
Yeah, so listen, dude, what do you do if you lose all your toes? Go kick in the NFL.
Be a kicker.
Easy peasy.
Also, do you remember the thing Super Jock, where you'd smack the guy
Smack the head and he kicked the ball.
kicked the field
Yeah.
goal? He had a half foot, so that's why.
Are you serious?
That's why the design was like that.
For real?
Yeah, they based it off him. As far as the toy goes, because initially they had a whole foot, and it was just.
I guess what when he got the record, or
no, it just wasn't hitting the little plastic ball flush. So then because you could buy some of those, and those were the harder ones to find, but they also made it more difficult. But then they decided to club foot it, and then when they did, I mean, you were just money all the time. Like, boom.
That's the damnedest thing.
He was born without toes on his right foot and no fingers on his right hand.
So he couldn't hold for extra points either.
Try kicking.
Well, he's the kicker.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to.
So he eats left-handed.
Yeah, you would assume.
Brushes his teeth left-handed. That's hard to say.
He's not just brushing his teeth left-handed.
He's doing it all.
Everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. That nub might.
Oh, you could know.
What are we going to say, Ted?
I don't think I could say it. Mike would have to dump me.
Nub. I'm nubbing it.
I'm nubbing it. Don't say it.
I don't know what's going on today.
Dun, 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 dun.
I already cursed.
I would dump
sounds
that.
like sounds like buckwheat. I'm nubbing it.
And I already cursed on the megacast today. I got to be careful. I mean, you saw how close it was. You'd be like, oh, yeah, he probably just nubs.
Yeah.
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
In answer to your question, this comes from the text. Very succinct. I derailed a train.
Ooh.
That is a bad day at work.
That is not good at all.
Have we gotten an update on the lady or the person?
No.
All right.
Whatever job this person has, they texted in earlier, if you did not hear it, just says, it's shocking the number of customers that poop their pants. And so we had, where do you work that so many customers poop their pants? We have not heard back.
No.
A lot of people have speculated. Walmart came up a lot. Oh, God damn. A couple other places, but honest to God, I have no idea where this person
What about maybe just a restaurant?
Again, man, you're saying a surprising number of people poop their pants.
Right.
So to me, even one person who's above a certain age pooping their pants in a restaurant, that would surprise me. But this says that it happens with some frequency.
I'm just thinking maybe somebody's on a date or whatever, or they're just uncomfortable at the dinner, so they don't get up, and then boom, crap their pants.
We got a couple of people texting and working at various Denny's locations where they have witnessed someone crapping their pants.
Well, I think anytime your restaurant or whatever is 24 hours.
Because we got a bunch for Waffle House, too.
Right. The percentages go through the roof.
It's between midnight and 6 a.m. If you're going to have people pooping their pants in your restaurant,
I wonder why
those
that
are
is.
the hours.
I've never done it at late night.
Because you're drunk or you're high
yeah.
or whatever the case.
Right. Think about you go to a 24-hour diner or something I always think a chunk of people are going to be altered, whether it's alcohol, weed.
Sure.
Then there's just going to be people who work late shifts. Then there's just the crazies.
Yeah, the crazy people.
They just want to hang out somewhere.
I know one place where people poop a lot, directly in front of the 7-Eleven here. Not
there was
in the 7-Eleven,
there was something the other day when we walked down there. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we need a good shower. I know the weather's fantastic right now.
Sure.
It is. It's awesome.
We need one hard shower just downtown.
Or just get the fire department to break out the hose and just spray the sidewalk.
Well, they have to spray every single street and sidewalk in the city.
Yeah, but at least we're on a steep hill that goes down to the water. So if they start blasting, at least it'd roll down there. But they got to start at 7-Eleven. That is the epicenter of human excrement.
You need actual rain. Miles, your neighborhood's like mine.
Oh, my God.
That first shower when it's still warm out.
It just starts steaming up.
Yeah, and it just almost
it's just pee.
Amplifies the pee.
It does. I mean, the whole place smells like pee. You pick some great places to live.
It's true. What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Wow. I mean, when you lived in Belltown, you remember the scent.
Oh, my God. Yeah, same thing. We're toward the bottom of a hill, so it would rain, and this stuff would come down. And you go down this balcony, kind of had a view, and it just reeked. I mean, just
yeah, but what you guys don't have is woohoo 2 a.m. vomit.
We did in Bellevue. I certainly don't now, but not Bellevue, Belltown. Oh yeah, we called it the mating call, right? Because dudes were always yeah, and chicks were always woohoo. And we're like, it's like they're trying to find each other in the wild to hook up and have sex. Fun to listen to.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, it really is, because you could tell like they were in different blocks and you kind of hear them in stereo, and then eventually they got closer, and somebody hooked up. Sometimes I just want to go out there and start screaming, yeah!
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
The one thing I miss most, well, a lot of things. I loved living in Belltown. The thing I miss the most is, like, somebody showing up on Sunday, right? Because, you know, when you live in those neighborhoods on Sunday, like, I go to Buckley's, watch some game, even if there wasn't NFL on. Just go over there, get lunch. It's just cool-looking dude. He still looks cool from the night before. And he's like, can you tell me where wherever bar is? Yeah, it's right there, man. What's up? I'm embarrassed. I left my card there last night.
Oh, God.
And it would happen they wouldn't even remember they couldn't even remember where the bars were.
Listen, they don't even know the name of the place or where they just know it's in this neighborhood. Like, geez, dude.
If you are a bartender in this city and you pick up the phone at the bar, it is for one reason. Who would call a bar?
Right, it's always...
Is John there? Everybody's got their own phone. So you know.
But you always hear the same thing.
Oh, what's your last name?
Let me look. And then they pick up it looks like a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And it's just credit cards.
What color is it?
Right.
What's your last name?
What's the name? Okay. Yeah, we got it.
I mean, that's it. That's all you do.
And then you always hear this.
That's the only reason.
And then you're welcome. You're welcome. It's
you guys have chicken wings? I mean, you can figure that out. You can look online. Like, it's just, the phone rings, it's one thing.
And there's no, I mean, the bartenders don't care, but there's no way to look cool and not be a little embarrassed when you got to shuffle in the next day and go, I left my card here. I walked out as I was hammered.
My bad.
They're like, yeah, I remember you from last night.
Well, the worst
How
is
you feeling?
The worst is when you're not hammered and you just leave it.
I know.
And you're like, oh, no.
I'm more apt to leave my card sober than I am drunk.
And the way my card is now, it almost, and this is not good, it's just like a dark brown. That's how Wells Fargo does it. So most of those what are the little books for your receipt are black.
Right.
So if you put your card in there, sometimes, like if it's
you just don't even notice
you can't even see it. So you're like, oh, man, I forgot to just take it out of there.
Last time I left my card, I was stone sober and left it in the machine in a Red Robin.
And it was gone, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Whose stomach was that?
Might have been mine.
Oh, wasn't mine.
I didn't have time to eat today.
Okay. Yeah,
I had one of those days. Like, come on, man.
Feed me.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Hey, here's one of those apple cider donuts that you don't like them.
I ate the other half. I ate the other half that you didn't eat.
All right, so get in there.
I did. I ate the other half.
You need more.
I know, right? Your stomach says you need more.
We're doing that.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello there, guys.
Hola.
Hey, almost 40 years ago, and I still remember it to this day, I had just moved up from Vancouver, Washington, graduate high school, and working over there off of Rainier Avenue, and I'm starting to become a maintenance guy. And I was warned by the owner that if the unit 101 starts to get water in the bathtub, call us. And so I did. And what that meant was the pump outside is not working. So down there off of Cloverdale, you're below the sewer line. So everything goes into a tank, and then it's pumped up to Rainier Avenue. Rainier Avenue. It's pumped up to Rainier. Well, that meant we had to get a pump truck out there in the middle of the night, pump it out. You got to get in the tank to release the pump and pull them out. And still to this day, I remember that. Going down inside the tank and watching stuff fly past your face as you would hear it go through. And it's one of them things where you never forget.
No, I guess
what was it? Could you smell it even though it was kind of contained?
Oh, you're in it. You're standing in it.
Ah! Yeah, I mean, that's what makes it so memorable.
Can't you pass out? Did you have to wear like a gas mask or something?
No, we didn't. We didn't at that time, but trust me, I had done it enough times. I was there for 7 years in that building. And it's one of the things where once in a while, one of the pumps would get plugged up. And to this day, I still remember it. And to this day, I'm still doing the same kind of work.
Really?
It must have been something, gotten in my blood. I don't know.
Now it's like, I don't know what it is, but I love this job, man. Well, you're the perfect guy for the job then, man. I mean, that's a good thing, I guess. That is not a job I'd want. Then again, I've never done it, so I don't know.
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Lots of poop stories coming in.
Oh, sure.
My wife worked at Walgreens for a while. She personally had to help several people, all older folks, clean up after crapping their pants.
I would assume if you work in an adult facility, that you would get a lot of that.
Well, if you work in an adult facility, but you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I've signed up for.
That makes sense.
This guy, if you work at Costco, you didn't sign up for this. I used to work for Costco. I watched a dude shake a turd out of his pants and then keep walking. And another time, a man had his colostomy bag explode all over the bathroom.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man. That is just... Hello, Dave. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So when I was in my early 20s, like 23, I worked at an advertising agency in Utah, and it had a shared copy machine. And one morning, the lady who got in first said there was a paper jam in the copy machine. And so she opened it up, took the paper out, and it was all crumpled up, but it had somebody the night before had laid on the copy machine and copied their junk.
Okay.
And she thought it was me because I was the youngest guy. I was in my 20s. The other people were all in their 50s or whatever. And so she's like, I know this is you. Don't do it again. This is disgusting. And she was just beside herself. And I said, that's not me. I swear it's not me. But to this day, she thinks I was the guy laying on the copy machine copying my junk at night.
I mean, in theory, you could have proved it. Like, look, here's a copy of the penis. Like, if we got to do this, because I'm not taking the blame for this, I'm going to show you my penis, and don't take this wrong. Because that clearly, that's not me.
My buddy worked in a warehouse, and one of the guys that he worked with jumped up on a copy machine to copy his ass. It's glass.
Yes.
When he jumped up there as a bigger dude, he sat through it and cut his ass.
It's very thin glass.
Oh, yes. Oh,
how bad did he cut his ass?
I didn't.
Like hospital visit? Or?
I don't know. I just remember him telling that story. Like he jumped up, man, like he jumped up to get on it, and apparently just boom, the whole thing shattered. I don't know. I'm assuming he cut himself pretty well. I mean, what are the chances that you wouldn't?
And here's the thing. You can try to lie to your boss and say something fell on it. But any reasonable person would look and say, why is there blood?
Well, most of the time,
what fell on it that was a living thing?
I mean, I don't know, but most of the time in the copier world, businesses at that point in time, I mean, like our copy machine is not ours.
Right.
I think we lease that.
All right.
From a company.
Yeah.
Like Copiers Northwest or something. And they come and service it. That's why anytime anything goes wrong with the copiers, it's like theirs.
Yeah.
Because I think the technology changes pretty
But also the way our copying machines work, like there's a history of everything I've sent to the printer or anything that you put in the copy. Yeah. So if you were to do your junk, they would know it's you.
Well,
right?
but
That's
if you
part of
lay
the thing.
on it,
right,
they don't know because you're just taking a picture.
I did have a chick
So you're
that
just
I
taking a copy.
ended up
Well,
dating later.
yeah.
She copied her boobs on the copying machine at one of the restaurants, but she forgot that she left it on there.
All right.
So I remember I opened it up, and so it's just a pair of boobs, right, that have been copied. So it's not, and I'm looking at it, and I have to estimate who I believe it to be, and I nailed it. I did. I can explain. I'll just put it this way. You're just looking at boobs, and while copiers don't do the best photographic recreation, I'm looking at the nipples and the areola, all right? And they were very, very pale. So I'm like, okay, I know who it's not, right? I can rule some people out.
Yeah.
But at this time, I'm working with this redhead. So I approach her, and I hold it up, and immediately, because I didn't say anything, I just held it up, and she's like, oh, my God, how'd you know it was me? I said, I didn't know. I had to guess, and if I was wrong, this was going to be really awkward and bad.
I knew it wasn't me.
But I'm glad I nailed it, man.
You'll have a pretty good idea.
Probably.
That's what, like the guy called in. Like, he could say, like, he was the youngest guy there, but, like, look, if I jump up and do take a picture of my junk and show it to you, you're going to see that it's not the same as what you've got in your hand.
Right.
It's not. Like, it's going to look completely different.
Well, it's the problem with the copying machine. It doesn't do a good recreation.
Now.
But then again, it wasn't really designed to copy body parts.
No.
Ooh, that would be the invention, right? All right, so right now, it's glass. If there's like some kind of flexible plastic, so if you did lay on, like an expensive mattress, you know what I mean? Kind of just form-fitting, and you can get a much better copy of your genitalia.
That's a 3D printer right there.
Ooh.
I also think
I would 3D print my junk and hand it out at Christmas.
nobody prints their boobs or butts anymore because with cell phones you can just send it to people.
I know. It kind of takes the fun out, though.
Yeah.
I do believe a couple things. Like, look, people aren't copying their genitalia anymore because you're right. With the cell phone, I can direct who I want to send this to, etc. Kids, they can just find porn on the computer. Sure. So you don't get that thing of finding your porn stash, hiding it somewhere, and then having all these conversations with your friends. I mean, seriously, it was like a social bonding thing. You could have the bully in school and you could have the nerd. But if they both got their hands on porn, they became quick buddies. Because you would trade it like baseball cards. When you're done with that penthouse, I got this Playboy. I mean, seriously, each kid would take it for a week. You know what they're up to. And then you meet up for your swap.
I mean, the grade school I went to in Beltsville, Maryland, right? The library was like just around almost like across the street from our school.
All right.
I could walk into the Beltsville library right now, walk to the history section, find a book on World War II, open it up to the section with the Nazis, and there's a woman on stage topless.
Goddamn to you.
And we would go in there all the time, be like, come here, man. I know where we can find some boobs in this library.
Because National Geographic was awesome. That's the one time your parents didn't even complain, right? Because they thought you were actually reading this thing about this tribe in Africa. I did not care that her neck was 17 feet long with all these things. Her boobs are out.
Yeah, a woman could lean over and breastfeed in those. She should lean over. Here, can't take it now.
Well, do you remember Howard Stern's book, Private Parts?
Yeah.
My brother got a copy of that.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of nudity.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, man. And I mean, God, I'm just thinking about it. It's frightening. Because he'd be like, all right, he's gone. I have 10 minutes. I got to run down to his room.
I'm nubbing it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, man. I mean, he must have tried with the nub.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, just give it a shot to see.
I might try it tonight.
I do both. Oh. Call it double fist.
I call it the boxer. It's like I'm wearing gloves.
The Rock'em Sock'em robot.
What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
The airmen who make up Air Force Special Warfare are the most specialized warriors on the planet. They are the ones other special forces look to when the mission calls for their unique skills and fearless commitment. A job for the mentally tough and physically strong. These elite heroes will go where others won't because they are trained to do what others can't. With 4 distinctive career fields deploying from air, sea, or land, deep behind enemy lines to bring air power to the heart of the battle. Find your calling and join the fight at airforce.com/special warfare.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Got a little show tonight down at the Moore Theater. Kick off Painted Grass.
That is correct.
Pretty Reckless and Aaron Jones. That's going to be a great show tonight. There's a little bit of rock and roll happening in Seattle.
That is correct.
There's a lot happening.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. You got a Sounders match to watch on TV.
Yeah.
You got a big show down at CenturyLink. It's crazy.
Was it Joan Jett,
Poison, Def Leppard,
and Motley Crue, right?
Motley Crue. That's that tour was announced, I want to say, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you could buy tickets 3 years ago.
Right.
For that show.
And it was a big deal. I want to say Joan Jett was the final add-on, right? Yeah. I know those 3 bands, the 3 bigger bands, were going out anyway.
I think it was just Poison, Def Leppard, and Crew. And that was released like summer of 19 for summer of 20.
Yeah, people are already walking down the stadium. So it's going to be a crazy night.
Yeah, that show starts early too.
Like 4:30 or something like that.
And here's what I've heard: all the bands sound great on that show. So if you are a fan of Joan Jett, she's always great live. Mm-hmm. But if you've never seen Poison before, apparently they are really good. Def Leppard is supposedly stealing the show, so to speak.
I believe
they sound like Poison.
If you like Poison, you still will. If you hate Poison like me, you still will.
I think the definitive thing is, does the band sound good? Whether you like the music or not. If you're a fan, do you sound like, like what I remember them to sound like? Motley Crue, they close the show, and, that'll be
That's up to Vince.
That is.
Right? I'm not saying that to be mean, but we all know this to be true. Like, the band, they've got it locked down. They know what they're doing. Vince is always the wild card.
Can't believe we couldn't get an interview with him. I know. Boy, times have changed. Our question, what went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
I just said that.
Here's a quick one from the text. It says, I worked at a cemetery, and one day they had a burial for 2 different Johnson families, not related. and we put them in the wrong place.
Oh, does anyone know?
I was going to say how...
A Johnson's a Johnson, right? All shapes and sizes, but still a Johnson.
You got to think, maybe the second Johnsons were like, hey, man, based on the plot that you... Like, some guy's wife died or something like...
Johnson and
He
Johnson.
wasn't married to her.
Oh, man. I'll get to Pfizer. What went really wrong at work? 206-421-WRONG.
Hello, Matt. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola. So this had to have been the late 90s, I'm guessing. That was the first real job I had outside of minimum wage as a technical manager at Chuck E. Cheese's in the opposite corner of the U.S.
So what does the technical manager do?
Well, you try to shot while you repair all the video games. Trying not to remove power if possible. So, yeah, it was loads of fun. I actually really enjoyed the job. Unfortunately, the audio store right next door, they had unbeknownst to us, a Yugo parked behind the building for at least 6 months. It had to have been a lot longer than that.
Did you say a Yugo is in the car from Yugoslavia?
Yugo.
Oh, my God.
Exactly what you think. So, us and the other guys initiated, to be honest, but they were like, hey, this has been back there, let's have some fun. Me being a manager, I had to agree, and we just proceeded to destroy the car. We didn't know that they actually owned it. We assumed it had been abandoned, at least until the cop showed up with me standing on top of the car.
Oh, no. Well, the good news is, wasn't the Yugo's gimmick, was it was a new car that you could buy for $2,000?
Something like that.
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, those things were dirt cheap.
And it's still overpriced.
There's a reason there's not one on the road right now.
Right.
Yeah, they even had the four-door version called the Wego, according to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got arrested for malicious mischief, destruction of private property. Had to call him on to be posted, get her to post bail.
Malicious mischief sounds like a metal band.
It does. Malicious mischief. Well, the good news is, at least it was a Yugo.
Yeah, they were upset. I was banned from going in the store. I never actually planned on going in anyway. Never showed back up to my job, and then had the general manager asked me why I never showed back up. Apparently, I could have kept my job.
What's the worst thing you saw at Chuck E. Cheese during business hours?
Oh, dear God.
Hey.
Once again, bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say
In the ball pit.
You're not allowed to take that.
I'm hoping it's a ball pit.
It's got to be ball pit.
I hope it's the ball pit.
Ball pit.
No, we're going to check in with them. I need to know.
Taking all bets.
Ball pit. It's got to be ball pit. Going ball pit.
Come on, great answer.
Bad guy.
Yeah, we get it, man. Where did the kid poop?
But yeah, ball pit.
Number one answer.
So do they have to take every ball out of there and sanitize it?
I'm sorry?
Do they have to take every ball out of the ball pit to sanitize it?
Are you basically just washing the night?
No, but what they would do is they had this big tub and a rather large net sack. And they with gloves, thankfully, if you were lucky, they would proceed to, scoop them all out, throw them in the bag, and just wash them. And that was not a duty you wanted.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Duty. No pun intended. You didn't want either one of them.
Duty.
Man, I don't know why the ball pit makes it so much better.
Makes it awesome.
How do you find a turd in the ball pit, though? Because unless you poop directly on top, right? I would think if a kid's in the ball pit, right? So they're waist deep in balls, and they poop in there somewhere, like, it could be there for days before another kid stumbles upon this turd, man.
Well, and I would imagine the kids in there work kind of like an agitator inside of a washing machine, and eventually it just all starts smearing and rubbing.
I would also think it
top.
stinks, and like some kid's going to touch it and start screaming.
It's probably that the kid got out of the ball pit because he pooped himself. The parents realize the poop's obviously in the ball pit, and now we have to go tell someone, hey, I apologize for this. I'm really sorry. My kid pooped in the ball pit.
Somewhere
Check, please.
along the line, somebody must have pooped on a slide at a McDonald's Playland.
Yeah, but
right? There's just they're kids.
It's
Like,
like kids are
somebody's
kids.
gonna poop their pants.
Absolutely.
So you just see the full length of it.
Right. I don't know why specifically the slide, but I feel like that's where it would happen.
I agree.
Or if they had already dropped it once they went down the slide and squeezed
Some
out.
toddlers wear diapers still. They wear pull-ups or whatever.
Yeah.
The ones always got me were swimming pull-ups.
What's the difference between those and a
Are
regular
you just
pull-up?
admitting you're pooping your pants in the pool?
Yes.
I mean, that's disturbing to me. You don't want to. I'm not opening my eyes in that. You know what's going to happen.
Just get goggles.
Come in looking like Hair Club.
Yeah, man.
I mean, pools.
Captain Pink Eye.
I don't mind seeing little kids in pools, but like in my old building, we had a hot tub, and like sometimes like people would have like their kid, and it's like get them out of the
stirs it up, man.
Right, like get them out of the hot tub. Like first of all, it's warm. Like they're not going to be able to handle it. That was
It's
the only
warm.
time.
It's bubbly.
Right, it's like your kid's 3. Like I'm not trying to be that person. Get them out of the hot tub.
Right. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, that's adult. Because adults are peeing in there. That's where adults pee, guys. What went really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
I've swam in a lot of pee. I do not swim in poop.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Mike kind of peed on me in the pool in Vegas, right? If you had pooped on me, it'd have been like, dude, come on.
No, I moved over to the other side of the pool.
But you said I walked right through it because I came over to talk to you about something.
Well,
you did not bring me, like, hey.
That was not on me. I kept trying to tell you, and you wouldn't listen.
Okay.
Kept saying stop, and you said, what? As you kept on moving closer.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
well, you just walked right through it, buddy.
Dude, it happens in every body of water.
Of course it
happened to me
does.
last week, right? Like, it's a lake, so it's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm in a separate section, right? And it's cold, so it's kind of hard to get going.
Right.
All right, and I'm trying to, like, just kind of stand there. Hey, Ted! What? You coming back over? Like, yes. Like, well, we're all drinking on the lake. I specifically am on another side, standing wasted. Like, what do you think I'm doing?
Right, come on, man.
Open.
Right?
You don't ask me what I'm doing if the stall door's closed. It's understood.
Yeah.
What you doing in there, buddy?
Well, and that's the thing, too. It's always weird, because especially, like, you ever been out on, like, Seafair or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're cruising around on a boat, like, eventually somebody's just like, listen, man, I'm just going to hang off the back. I have got to pee.
Right.
Then everybody's fine with it. But it's that awkward thing at first where it's like, do I want to say it? Do I want to say it? Like, nobody cares. It's a lake.
Mm-hmm. It depends how you do it. Like I said, my wife pointed this out to me. We're in Florida, I think it was, and I get them to go pee in the ocean instead of walking like 200 yards to the bathroom, right? No big deal. And came back under the umbrella, and she's just looking at me. I said, dude, I do this. She goes, look, I don't care that you do it. She said, just do me a favor. She said, you've been sitting here for an hour reading a book. You put a book down. There's other people on the beach. You walk to the water waist deep. She goes, and then you put your hands on your hips and turn your head to the side. You're out there for 30 seconds, and then you turn around and walk back. She's like, stop making it so obvious. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good call. Good call. Good call.
What went really, really wrong at work? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steven. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So this one's for all our back of the house restaurant workers.
All right.
So I was at a restaurant, we were opening, and the faucet that you normally have on the wall with your flat top and grill and all that stuff.
Sure.
This kitchen apparently was an open kitchen, and we faced the front door. Well, before opening, one of the front of the house waitresses asked what that faucet did. And we turned it on to show her. Well, that was the stupidest thing we did because it popped the seal and blew the gasket and the pipe broke. So now we've got geyser going all over our equipment, and we're getting ready to try to open up, and all of us are standing there trying to figure out what to do. I quickly jump up there and try to force stop it with my hand, and there was so much pressure that it wasn't working. So we wrapped towels around it. I still had to stand up there and hold it. Well, it's still got a nice little leak coming through the towels, and so we start filling stock pots with it. As this is going, where everyone else, and I'm up there holding this, everyone else is trying to find the valve to shut this off. There was no valve in the wall. They had to find the main. And it took about 30 minutes to find the main.
Oh, God.
And apparently it was in the women's bathroom. So, meanwhile, during the 30 minutes, I'm standing there getting wet, and one of the front of the house people has to ask, are we open? And I'm like, no, we're not. We can't open right now. Well, a couple walked in, an older couple, and this is why I'm saying this story, because now I look back at their faces, I'm like, I realized what they were looking at. I heard the door open, I looked back, and so how I was standing on the flat top was I was Eiffel Tower to the wall,
holding the rag with my legs open because that's where the stock pot was. So it looked like I was peeing in the stock pot. So this older couple walks in, and I see they looking at me, and I see the lady mouth to her husband like WTF.
Right.
And I'm like, and then no one goes to the door, and I have to scream, "Hey, there's someone at the front door!" And then that's where they go get it, and I'm like, and then it dawns on me after. I'm like, oh, I see what they were doing. They thought we were I was peeing in the stock.
I'll tell you what, was Yelp around at that point?
I'll have the soup
because that's going to be a bad review.
No. That was the thing. And they were the first customers. Well, on top of that, the waitress like I said, comes back and says, "Are we open for business?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, no, we can't cook anything."
How dumb was this waitress that you worked with?
You guys have been there. It's just one of those ones.
Yeah. Okay. There's always one. There's always one. We used to work with this one girl.
Yeah.
We don't know what it was, and we got used to her. So typically, if you are at a restaurant, you order an appetizer and you order your entree, right? So if you're getting at least two courses, you space it out. So you get your appetizers first. So the ticket comes in, and those of us in the kitchen, we look. Whatever the appetizer is, we immediately start preparing that. And then we wait for the cue from the wait person to walk back because they're scanning your table. They're almost done. So they come back, "Hey, man, fire table 28. So now we start working on your entrees. Everybody does. This is standard procedure. This one waitress, I worked with her for 2 years. She never remembered
to put the food in.
She would put in the ticket, which was good, but she never remembered to fire the entree. So after working with her for like 3 weeks, instead of yelling at her or anything, because she was just she was real cool, but just kind of flighty and, living in her own world.
Yep.
We would just guesstimate when to fire her tickets for. And this was every night that we worked with her. And every night we worked with her, she'd come running into the kitchen. "Oh my God, I forgot to fire table 28. It's ready. We got it for you." Because we knew, so we normally did not care whose name was on the ticket when they came in because it's irrelevant. But we would have to start checking because if it was her, we're like, "Look, we're going to have to fire the entrees for her. Let's just guesstimate because there's no chance to remember it." Every night, every table, all the time, without fail. "Oh my God, I forgot." We got you. Mm-hmm. Once we saw your name, we knew, like, all right, guys, keep an eye on that ticket.
Right.
Just register how long it's been. And she would be that person.
Was she attractive?
She was super hot, man.
Mm-hmm.
She was. Otherwise, it's different. What the hell's wrong with you, right?
How could you be so dumb?
Yeah, I know somebody like that, and the lights are just not on.
Right.
Nicest person in the world.
That's what I mean. There was nothing wrong. It just her brain just did not work the way a normal person's does. But she was a smoke show, so it's like, hey, we got you. You guys are so nice.
It's good for the restaurant.
It is good for the restaurant. She was customers loved her.
The person I know is attractive as well.
And just
good-looking person.
But nothing going on.
Nothing. Absolutely. It's amazing. It's like nothing is being retained here.
Like when you're talking to them, like everything you're saying is just ricocheting off of the brain.
Like Teflon. No information.
She's like dodging information like the Matrix. Like, we're not trying to hurt you. We're just trying to explain something.
I didn't know.
Was that knowledge coming my way? Whoa.
What went really, really wrong at work? 206-421-RON.
Dude, I had one a couple weeks ago. I was like, we're going to get some whiskey and picklebacks. And the waitress kind of puts her head up when I go, "A pickleback means," she goes, "I know what a pickleback is. I'm trying to think if we have any pickle juice." I was like, "Yep,
my bad. I know what pickleback is. I don't. What is whiskey?"
Right? She was. I should have known better. It was a good bar, but it's an Irish pub. Like, she knew what she was doing.
Yeah. Hello, Derek. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Hey, real quick before my story, I'm sure maybe some other listeners just viewed it, but on I-5 North, there is a dude on a green Ninja. We're probably scooting 40 miles an hour, and he's kind of riding the car in front of him a little close and leaned over on the gas tank, which you really didn't need to be going that slow, but accelerate, looked right to be able to go, and the next thing you know, he's maybe like 20 yards in front of me across the lanes, and Chinese wheelie, end over end, just boom, eats it, dude. But looking in my mirror, I watch him do a couple rolls. He gets up on his feet, and his bike somehow ended up landing back on its wheels and cutting across all lanes and hitting the concrete wall. But he was walking.
Damn.
So
Well, good.
Hopefully he is okay.
Oh, wait till he wakes up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
That adrenaline only lasts so long. that adrenaline Advil, that guy, that's like 10 minutes, man. After that, you're like, oh, God, I'm hurt. Oh, I'm hurting. Yeah, man, when I got caught in the... When I got caught in the tracks down here with my scooter, my wheel got caught in there, man. And when I spilled, I was just so shocked that I spilled that quick.
Right.
I popped right up, got my bike up, everything's fine. The next morning I woke up and was like, oh, God.
Right.
I don't even remember my shoulder hurting or my elbow or my hip or my leg or any of that crap. Yeah, good times.
So what was your bad day at work?
Yeah, that was a bad day on the way home from work, it looked like. But my story is a hot story. I'm over working at Jack in the Box, and I must have been 19, 20, and I'm working night shift, and it's just me and the manager, which is she must have been like 25, 26, a little older than me. And at nighttime, we shut the fryers off, you drain them out, the oil sits down in some holding tanks, you pull out all the burnt ends down at the bottom, and then you fill it back up. But so I empty all the oil down in the holding tanks below. We don't shut off the burners, the heat element down at the bottom, and we end up going to the back and making out, having fun. I'm like, oh, right on, like this is cool. And the next thing I know, I smell smoke, and we both stop and we run out to the front, and thankfully it's just us there. But there are flames coming up out of the bottom of the fryers, just getting past the top. She wants to. She goes and of course instantly grabs the fire extinguisher, and I'm like, no, let's not do that, because then we're really going to be in trouble. Like that's
right.
You spray that thing in a kitchen and you're going to cause all sorts of damage. So I tried the salt trick. There's a big old thing of salt for the fries right there. Take off the lid and dump it on it. That didn't work. And the next thing I thought was, okay, you can drown fire with fuel. You can dump stuff on there that's flammable, but if it's too thick, it'll put it out. So I quickly, it was a 50-50 shot. I opened up the valve to release the oil back into the fryer, and sure enough, the oil starts coming in. It spit out a huge flame for a split second, and then drowned out the fire.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's thinking right there.
Coming out the return of Who Sucks Less, you are listening to The Men's Room.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Less on the way, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Oh, my God. See, here we go. Right into birthdays. Hola, Macholas. My little man, Braden, is 5 years old today.
All right.
Even though he's a complete tornado, crackhead disaster, we wouldn't ask for anything different. Gonna get a Wendy Williams burp fart and one of Steve's gets. That from Mom, Dad, and Ava. Thanks, guys. See you on Saturday at Pain. Get. Hi. Get. This one says, hi.
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 I'd like for you to give a birthday shout out to my 12-year-old son, Connor. He said he wants to be, quote, roasted, and he loves Ted and Thrill's Disney voices. So I was hoping he could be roasted by Mickey and Goofy for his decision to go fishing with his dad this weekend instead of going with me to see one of my favorite bands, or his favorite bands, Alice in Chains. That from Mom and Dad, who say, love you, buddy.
Disney.
Oh, sorry.
Hit the wrong 12, man. Come on. 12. Hell's wrong with you? Jesus. Well, gals, I can't believe you chose to go fishing instead of going to see Alice in Chains. See, Alice in Chains goes on tour, don't it? The fish are going to be there all the time. It's not like they go some other place. You can go any day. Same fish, same body of water. Doesn't mean you catch none.
He's right. Number one, the fish will always be there. So will Dad. Hopefully. Also,
Jesus.
If you're going with Mom, not only would you see Alice in Chains in person, you could also get snacks, sodas. All that's gone now. But you want to go fishing, as if the fish aren't going to be there anymore. I'm starting to get upset.
Afternoon, Mitchellas. Today's my twin sons, Michael and Richard, a.k.a. Frickin' Frack's 35th trip around the big flaming gas ball. I'd like to get them an uh-oh lookout, an owl hitting the window, and a Wendy Williams burp fart. Thank you from their old dad. Happy birthday, guys.
Uh-oh, look out.
Guys, happy birthday to you. And my loving husband, Jason. Can I get a Chris Rock and a Wendy Williams? I don't know if we have a Chris Rock.
Oh, no, I have a special Chris Rock for you.
Chris Rock, I think you meant a Kevin Hart and a Wendy Williams.
Damn.
Right.
Happy Chinooka.
Chris Rock.
Guys, this,
come on, man.
This message is to wish my mother, Cammy, with a K, the happiest of birthdays. If you could give her a big old bong rip, she would be greatly appreciate that. With love, that from Bobia.
Bobia? 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 Bobia.
Bobia.
Babia. Babaya. B-O-B-I-A.
Her mom's name is Candy with a K?
Bobia.
I'll probably help pay for some of that kid's education.
Bobia. Bye-bye. Bobia.
Could you please give a birthday shout out to my fiancé, Randy? He's always put everyone else before himself. Could you have the dirty Germans talk about Jell-O shots and four-wheeling? Thanks, guys. That from Cindy.
Yeah, I don't like to call it four-wheeling. I just like to put you on your hands and your knees. And the Jell-O shots, I'm glad you like it. I hope you like pearl flavor.
Yeah. It's the main thing about the four-wheeling is he knows how to use his wrist muscles very good. So I just put it around something on me and say,
vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom. Go faster. Use the clutch. What else? The Jell-O shots?
Yeah.
See, I'll provide some whipped cream.
I've never done a Jell-O shot with whipped cream.
Yeah. There's a bar I go to in
That sounds
Burien.
great.
The bartender's name is Candy. If you get a Candy style, you get a little whipped cream on there.
Candy style.
Candy.
Give me candy style.
What else does she do candy style? Is it just the Jell-O shot?
Candy is a great bartender, and I'd go easy. She probably could beat you up.
I bet you could. I like that. That's candy style.
Candy style.
I'll beat you up candy style. That means I'm going to punch you after I spray whipped cream in your face.
Even VD likes some candy style.
Okay.
Candy actually does a pretty spot on Ted.
Damn it. Oh.
Really? What impersonation of how you talk?
Yeah, just like sometimes I roll in there a little later in the evening. So we were joking around. Like, it's hard to do an impersonation of yourself.
Right.
Have you heard it, Mike?
No, but VD has, and he says it's more of, not necessarily a sober Ted, it's more of a couple drinks Ted. She does a really
For
good
sure.
impersonation of it.
It's like, Candy, 4 Jell-O shots. Run it.
Candy style.
When you get drunk, you sound like an old black woman. You do.
Everybody, come here for a minute. I'm blessed. I'm blessed, damn it. My feet itch.
But she broke it out one day, and I was like, God damn it, Candy, that is me.
I wore the wrong wig tonight.
Right.
Well, look, I like this bar. Sometimes I run into people that listen to the show, and they'll start talking to me. Candy! Jell-O shots, Candy style, run it on my tab.
Okay, old black woman.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the $3 shots, too.
I know, exactly. See you in church tomorrow. I'm bragging. It's like, you're probably buying the cheapest shot you can buy at this bar.
Boo bitches, today my sensei and head chef Paul is 38 years old. How about your penis is too small? And Coach Ted giving him some advice on how to run a kitchen, please.
Well, listen here, Sensei. Do you really need to listen to Coach? You run that kitchen like you run your dojo. Power, strength, authority. Somebody shows up late, slap them.
You know what's stupid about that? Why would you ever ask the executive chef how to run the kitchen? That's why you have the sous chef.
Yeah.
Like, that's the dude who's doing all the heavy lifting. The executive chef takes all the credit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, walks around.
Right. Walks in like twice a week, walks in, and they're full chef gear, even though there's no stains. Right?
I was going to say, it's spotless.
Nothing on. Not a damn thing on there. They don't have any cuts, burns, bruises, nothing. And they got a lot of attitude, and they tell you what you did wrong, or if you did it right, then they leave. And then you read about them in the magazines. Meanwhile, the sous chef's like, I make all of this S.
Right. I do this.
It's his recipe. Yes. Sure. I make all of this S. If you enjoyed your meal, it's the sous chef.
That is true.
Yeah.
I ran into an executive chef a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
He was exactly what you think he'd be.
I ran into one the other night. He was the nicest guy in the world.
Oh, this guy, after about his third bourbon or whatever, like started kind of turning. I was like, oh, right.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on.
What's the name of that restaurant? I already told you 3 times.
That's what he said?
All right.
Okay.
Cool. You know what? I won't spend money there.
Sorry.
F you and your restaurant.
Sure.
If I can remember the name of it.
Right? I'd piss on the wall.
Oh, Jesus. Not really a Chris.
I know. Sorry. I don't know what's with me today.
4 more shots.
Candy down.
Run it!
Ola, would you please wish my good friend Daniel, pronounced fat and happy corn-fed, a happy 42nd birthday for me. But first, he would like to give a quick shout-out to Ted, who he really enjoyed chatting with last June at the Hidden Door Dart Tournament in Shoreline.
Oh, yeah.
In the past year, corn-fed has lost over 150 pounds.
Damn.
So to help celebrate his birthday, would you please give him a roof that does not leak, and a double serving of Joey Chestnut, and the Dirty Germans telling him what fun they have planned for his new lean physique. Rock on, bitches. You guys and the rest of the KISW crew are the GOAT of a radio world. From your loyal listener, Stephen Bothell, who absolutely loves the new Men's Room San Juan Salsa, which was purchased at the Yakima Fruit Market in Bothell.
Dip responsibly.
Yeah, congratulations on losing 150 pounds, but that makes this German very sad. I wanted to get with you while you still had your pushing cushion.
Yeah, it's good for you. So in Germany, we only serve bun lengths, and now you have one.
It's like...
Dip responsibly.
It's like missing an entire person.
It is 150 pounds.
It's a person.
Yeah.
That is a person.
That is a fully grown, mature method.
That's
it's
awesome.
Conor McGregor.
That's right.
Awesome. You lost to Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, that's what he fights at, 144, 150.
Yeah,
then you should tell people, look, man, I used to be able to fight, but I lost a full Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
He lost more than a Mighty Mouse.
And when you get that skin removed, I say you make a wallet. Why not?
Stop it.
Why? What's wrong with that?
No.
Make a purse for your mother from
like a little change purse. Give me your friends. Why not? Dude, I lost 150 pounds. Here's a wallet.
Here's a memento.
Oh my God, is that your skin?
Yes. There's still hair on it.
Yes, it is. But trust me, man. I mean, look, you could take your wallet, you could jump into a pool accidentally, right? Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Yeah.
You jump into a pool, you're fine.
It just shrivels up.
Yeah. Guys, I want to send a birthday shout-out and a fish sandwich medley to my favorite starfish, Trevor, on his 46th birthday. Thanks, guys. That from Ann.
What's his name?
He needs the fish sandwich medley.
Oh, the fish sandwich medley. My favorite.
Fish sandwich. So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? With the cheese and the tartar on the side.
Or a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side.
Yeah.
I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon. And at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich? Though you don't want a fish sandwich?
All right, guys, here you go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the Men's Room wants to know, who sucks last?
Yay! Time for Who Sucks Last. Steve Hill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck. But it's up to us to determine, of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Twitter, debate is already underway on Who Sucks Last.
Yes, indeed. The common thread through all 3 of these stories is that a mistake was made. We'll start in Kansas, then we head north to Idaho, and then finally we go back south to the fine city of Nolens. So let us begin in Kansas, where a crew of contractors tore the entire roof off of a Kansas home before disappearing. And they disappeared when they realized that they were at the wrong place. The Overland Park man believes that the workers left when they realized it was the wrong house. So he went online to Nextdoor and Facebook in hopes of finding out who was actually supposed to get the roof replaced on that particular morning. In the meantime, the homeowner, Steve Kornsman, he says that he contacted police and his insurance company. He also now has his own roofer working on his home for obvious reasons, because he has to have one. He says, quote, right now we're looking at this as a civil matter. We're not looking at this as a criminal matter because this was a mistake that they made. They were supposed to get to another home, supposed to rip the roof off, but they got the addresses switched. It happens. Damn. Police right now are unsure of this damage to the inside of the home, but rain was expected the following day. All right? Yeah. So that's what happened in Kansas. Now we go to Idaho. A local family has been living without a roof for 20 days after theirs was again removed by a contractor that they never hired. It's a site that the homeowner, Jessica Hotvet, said she never thought she'd come home to. She said, quote, "This is a nightmare. This is absolutely the worst thing I could have imagined. June 1st, my daughter came home from school to find that people were removing the roof of her house. Well, their house is now covered in a tarp with no explanation except a letter left by the contractor which said there had been some miscommunication and they were sent to the wrong address. And she understands some people mess up, but now no one's taking blame for the issue. Quote, "It was a mistake, a very costly mistake, and it should have been fixed. It just should have been fixed, but no one will do it." Well, DR Roofing LLC, they told the family their insurance would handle it. Well, the claims the family has tried to file with the company's insurance have been denied. In the latest letter, they say, quote, "The policy issued to DR Roofing contains an exclusion for property damage arising out of an open roof condition." So in spite of the fact that they removed the roof, whatever. The price to fix the mess, they say, is a little bit overwhelming because they have to get it done. So right now, bids are coming in at just around $70,000. $70,000 to repair the roof that you never asked anyone to remove. Now we go to New Orleans for another kind of mess up. In this case, dramatic scenes captured via Ring doorbells show armed police officers raiding a house and dragging the owner out in his boxers. Officers held 56-year-old Eddie Crosdale at gunpoint after raiding his home. However, it was soon discovered that Eddie was not the man they were looking for, and the person that law enforcers were looking for had escaped the building. Eddie, who was wearing a T-shirt and boxers at the time of the raid, said, quote, "I was woken up to bashing on my door on Sunday morning at 8:30 to see what looked like a platoon of U.S. Marines standing outside. I was completely terrified." He said as soon as he opened the door, there were laser targets all over his body, and officers could be heard shouting, "Put your hands over your head," etc. Says, "I racked my brains trying to think of something I might have done recently or in the past, but I can't even bring myself to drop litter. While police were treating me like Osama bin Laden, the guy they wanted, he got away." Well, the 59-year-old said his 15-year-old son was also held at gunpoint and questioned by the officers, but mostly he feared for his dog, a Jack Russell Chihuahua cross, because he thought the officers would shoot him because the thing just wouldn't shut the hell up, right? Anyway, a report said the raid was carried out by 9 armed and 6 uniformed officers. Following the incident, Eddie issued a complaint. He's even considering taking legal action. Okay, so those are your stories. We have the people that lost their housing or lost their roof in Kansas, but that particular contracting company has made no contact with them. We have the couple in Ohio. They lost the roof to their house. The contracting company admitted their mistake, told them their insurance would cover it, but it turns out the insurance policy somehow does not cover that. And then finally, the cops busting down the door of this guy in New Orleans and dragging his ass outside.
Golly. Ted, you're not going to like me on this one. Contractor, the Kansas, they're gone. So you're not going to be able to get a roof. And you said it was $70,000 to replace the roof?
The ones in Idaho, they're the ones who can't get the insurance covered, so it's going to cost them $70,000.
$70,000.
But they've been 20 days without the roof. The people in Kansas who had the roof removed, they don't even know the company that did it.
Right. So they can't.
They don't know who to talk to. Right.
Okay. And that's their home. That's where they live.
Yes.
Now in New Orleans, yes, your home was broken into, busted into. It was a mistake. I'm sure things were cleared up. Maybe he has a lawsuit going. Who knows? I hate to say it. I think New Orleans sucks the least.
I agree. Mike and I agreed on that today. We just said, look, that kind of stuff happens.
Mistakes happen.
And whoever they're looking for has to be serious business. If you got 9 dudes, you know what I mean? And they got the laser sights and all that.
It also sucks to know that guy lived beside them, but he's not going to be there anymore.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
I just worry, are they actually going to get any money from the lawsuit?
Oh, probably not.
Right. So then it's like...
You'll probably get repair costs for your door, whatever the case is. But, I mean... But I understand how those mistakes are, and the cops even admit it. Hey, we made a mistake. They were accountable for their actions. It's not the greatest thing, but in my mind, it's just this. I've woken up to cops in my house. I knew it was the wrong situation. You know what I mean? And
same city.
And all that kind of exact same city.
Sense in a pattern.
Which, tells you a little. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the exact same city. But if I came home and my roof's gone, like, that's a problem for a while, and it costs me money. The cops is just upsetting for that moment.
I mean, the one in Idaho, like, that's just why insurance companies suck.
Right. Oh, we have one stipulation that has to do with damage from a roof. Well, the damage is not from the roof. They took my goddamn roof.
Right.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less. If you like KISW on Twitter, you are listening to The Men's Room.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Damn. Coming up in minutes, we'll drink a toast with the shot of the day. And we do your headlines coming up at 5:50. First, quick check in with Mike Hawk. And some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, there's a jewelry store that's making custom items made from bodily fluids.
What kind of fluids, Mike?
Yeah, you know exactly the fluids that we're talking about, Ted.
What kind of items are they making? Lotion?
I would
jewelry.
think statues.
Oh,
like,
jewelry.
Yeah,
Right.
jewelry. So,
you
necklaces of a kind, I would imagine.
I mean, I guess.
You know what? I got some charm to spread around.
I guess.
If my wife said I really want that, I'd be like, on it.
That old Jurassic Park line comes to mind. You spend so much time thinking if you could, you didn't consider whether or not you should.
Right.
Researchers in the UK found that strongly religious people are typically more content about their bedroom activities. I don't know why, but hey, we're happy.
All right, well, good.
Right.
Let me get some of that.
That's good enough for me.
You know what? That's just perfect. You put in the effort.
You put in the effort.
Or
That's
little
what
do we
counts.
know, they're getting freaky deaky.
That could be it, too.
Find the butt plug. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. I just happen to go to church, but I'm into some weird stuff. You go like, all right.
For the first time ever, marijuana use is outpacing cigarette use.
I saw that.
I read that yesterday.
Well, that's a good thing.
Right. Hopefully they're still doing it responsibly. I really hope that they are.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you can still drive and smoke cigarettes, but
Yeah, but
outpacing it.
I didn't
Hopefully
smoke
that's a
20
healthy
joints a day.
Right. That's one of the
but
differences,
the difference
man.
is I
Yeah.
did smoke 20 cigarettes a day.
Exactly.
And I miss it.
No, you don't, Miles.
Yes, I
You don't
do.
miss a damn thing about it.
So tasty.
No, you do not, sir.
Don't start.
Research has found that dolphins form large and intricate social networks to help males court females.
Yeah.
They're not unlike
highly
humans.
intelligent mammals.
Exactly.
Be my wingman.
Exactly.
I've been
though.
looking at that dolphin for a long, long time. Bet she got that big ugly friend. So take
right,
one for
man.
the team.
You realize
brother.
those Navy SEAL dolphins are still on the lam out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they escaped and they're like, we are out of here.
I want you to go up there and just slap her right on the tail fin.
Yeah, go ahead. Do that. Yeah.
Go ahead and hang on.
Dolphins are crazy smart.
Yeah,
and they hunt
they are.
together.
Yeah, man.
Rub my blowhole. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, counterclockwise.
And they protect-
counterclockwise.
I love the stories like somebody's, boat sank or whatever in shark-infested waters and 4 or
help you
5
out, buddy.
dolphins come out, man. They're like, oh, we got your ass. Just keep treading water, dude.
Right. Well,
Are they protecting them, or are they just waiting for their opportunity?
That's a good point. I don't know.
We got to keep up
Yeah,
appearances.
like, don't take our food.
After 10 minutes, you just sink below the water. It all goes away.
Yeah.
Like dip for the third time we take you out.
Yeah. We'll protect you.
All right, Ted, I have a question for you. All right, we're talking about dolphins. Let's move to killer whales real quick. So, Miles showed me another video of another guy on a boat, and a cute little creature shows up on the boat to avoid a killer whale.
Okay.
Was it an otter or something like that?
It was a seal, yeah.
Seal. Do you keep that thing on your boat?
Nope.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it looks bad. I know that the seal's cute. But when I'm looking at this video, this killer whale is under the guy's boat.
Okay, just know that I'm filming you pushing this seal.
Bro,
to its
I'm
death.
slapping the phone out of your hand. Look, and I'm punting this bitch off the boat. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not dealing with a killer whale that wants to eat. It's dinner.
I mean, the seal might try to bite you, but I think it's better than...
Bite me.
Yeah,
given the choice.
Than the orca sinking my boat.
Damn right, man. Got to go.
I'm a good swimmer. I'm not that good of a swimmer.
A new poll found the top things that couples bicker about at home.
Dinner plans.
Dinner plans, probably not a bad call.
Yeah, we don't really bicker much. When we do, it's just quick hit and miss because you're already annoyed.
Sure.
But we rarely have a thing that we're actually angry about.
Right.
You're just in a crappy mood.
And that's what bickering is. It's just little stings here and there. But you know what? Let's get to it.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
The top things couples bicker about at home. Like, who put the toilet paper on backwards? You savage. Or, what happened to No Pants Fridays as outlined in our vows? And my personal favorite, whose condom is that?
Wow. I like that he puts it in his vows.
Yeah, right. No Pants Friday. That needs to be a standard. So these are the top things the couples bicker about at home. Number 10 being not making the bed. I have heard about that one.
Personal experience?
No. I just heard the couples,
of course.
Who makes the bed?
It should be a united project.
Oh,
Miles.
really?
You both should make the bed.
Okay.
It's a great way for you two to reestablish teamwork in the morning.
I think also sometimes some people's idea of a made bed is different than others.
That's a good observation.
Like I don't need to like tuck the corners and stuff.
That is
but I have
fact.
definitely met.
Do you use a top sheet in the summer?
That's all I use.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I got to take the blanket off.
Okay. Yep, me too. But I don't like the heavy.
But for some reason, though, like, you know, when you wash your sheets and everything, even if it's the summer, I'll still put the cover on there.
And then just move it when you go to bed.
Right, and then that night, you're like, why is this on here? Well, what was I thinking?
Get this out of here. Number 9, not dusting properly.
Oh, my God. I mean, come on, man.
It's dusting. If there's dust on the thing, get it off of there.
I tend to be the person to dust in my house. Okay. I just have a routine on Saturday to get out of bed. I will dust. I will vacuum. Generally deal with the kitchen. It's just what I do.
You still wear that French maid outfit?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
He likes the slippers.
But the one thing I give my wife credit for, she never says anything. She goes, I was told by my mother, right, my mother-in-law, if you see a man with a duster in his hand, leave him alone. She's like, I'm never going to stop you from dusting if you're going to dust.
For Venetian blinds, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
No, Venetian blinds.
Get right in there.
Yep. I also like the idea.
Cats.
I also like the idea of some wife like dusting and then some dude just walking through, puts on his white glove and just puts his finger. You missed a spot. You lazy woman.
That's just called, I feel like arguing.
Oh, yeah.
Number.
This is how our relationship works. I have to test her now.
That's right. It's a satin glove. Number 8, crumbs in the bed.
Who's eating in the bed all the time?
I was about to ask, who in here is a bed eater?
Don't. A bed eater. No. I will eat a bed, but I will not eat in my bed.
Right.
I love to eat, but it's unless I'm just that hammered and took something to bed, but like...
Thank you.
If you're smashed, I understand.
There may have been an incident where I looked less than attractive coming home after a very drunken night with Ted and our friend Marshawn, and I grabbed Taco Bell, and I slept on the pullout that night, but not before I ate said Taco Bell on said pullout.
How did the pullout look the next morning?
The pullout looked fine, because I'm not a messy eater, sir.
Okay.
You can see my size. I don't let a lot spill.
You're a soft taco shell guy.
Yes.
That's
There's no way you're eating crunchy tacos.
You're like doing Doritos.
But I still accidentally woke somebody up who then looked out at me eating my Taco Bell.
And I'm not saying anything, but maybe you shouldn't lay down on people's couches and eat. It's like, it's been a couple days. Like, what is over here in the corner of my couch? I'm like, I respect that somebody got drunk and ate salad.
Oh,
but it was one of those leftover salad from Pagliacci's. There were just like little pieces of salami in my couch.
Oh no!
Really? Yeah. I'm also just a weirdo. I have a hard time just being in a laying position eating anything. Probably because I'm afraid I'm going to choke.
The gravity ain't right, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Top things couples bicker about at home. Number 7, dirty clothes on the floor.
I don't like
I used to have
shoes in the way. I like just random shoes. Right. I'm always afraid I'm going to twist my ankle and trip.
But you've never had somebody that just disrobes in the hallway and then goes and finds the clothes that they intend to get into?
Basically, they look like they evaporated. There's just,
yes.
I mean, I have, poof. That's when you know, bam, in my world, that I am really drunk when I get home. If I have the evaporated clothes pile with the shoes underneath it,
yep,
then that means I was just like,
All right, so I'm the opposite. You know I'm really hammered. If I wake up in the morning and my clothes are like hung up, it's usually I'm just like, take off my stuff and put it down, but like, I'll be like, where are those jeans? Like, God damn, I was drunk. I hung up my jeans when I got home.
Because I'm a classy man.
And I never do that. I'm a evaporate guy in my bathroom almost every morning. Whether I've gone to the gym or whatever's happened in the morning, like the last thing I'm going to do is shower before I come into work, and it's just like...
I will sometimes admit that I do get undressed in the bathroom, and then I will forget it because it'll end up behind the door, so it's not in foresight.
I do it in front of the door for that very purpose.
That's a good call.
It's just there. I got to move it out of the way. Just take it to the dirty.
Well, sometimes my mother-in-law is over, and I can't have her seeing that.
Sure you can.
Mike, you also don't get... I'm telling you, man, one day, take your shower, put on your underwear, and your shoes and socks. I love walking around like that.
That is such a weird thing. I don't know if it's a weird thing, but when I picture you, it's like, that's such a ridiculous look. I'm sure it feels
great. It's a utility look. If there's a fire, he'll get out of there in no time.
Well, also in the summertime, like when I get out of the shower, like it's hot, so the last thing I want to put on is my shirt.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I guess I could put on shorts.
Put on shorts.
You're right. I guess it is odd that I put on socks and shoes with my underwear.
It's a power move, Ted. I respect it. Number 6, not squeegeeing or wiping things down after a shower.
Yeah, I don't have one of those showers. I got a curtain. I don't need to squeegee it.
Same. Like, what are we doing?
Hey, what's the point of getting married if somebody else can't do that for
I did
you?
have a glass shower at one point in time, and I squeegeed it religiously.
Okay.
Did you?
I didn't realize that was part of the process.
I just did it because,
just so it doesn't build up over time.
Sure.
Because once it builds up, it's a pain in the ass.
I did it because this. Normally I take the first shower, and then my wife would take the next.
Yeah.
So if I want to see her naked, I need to squeegee that shower.
That's a fact.
Right.
Yeah. That's
So
a
that
fact. Number 5, whose turn it is to vacuum or mop? Okay, enough with turns.
I know. I just do it.
Do it or don't.
There's certain things that she always does, certain things I always do. Luckily, it just works out that it covers 100% of what's needed.
Right.
But you don't have to question it. Like, you know I'm going to vacuum. You know I'm going to dust. You know I'll deal with the kitchen. I know you do the laundry. And she's so specific. She's specific about how the dishwasher is loaded. I understand.
Yeah.
No. I know
Because you can get more in there.
I know where the plates go. I know where the way they go in. So every time I load it and she's there, she's like, "Oh my God, just stop." I'm like, "Fine, whatever. You do it."
My kid was pushing down like takeout food in my garbage can. And I'm like, have you ever thought for 1 minute maybe take Dad's trash out?
Yeah, take the trash
instead
out.
of trying to smash it down in there and stretch the bag out. Like maybe it's full and it needs to be taken out, or I'll take it out.
But you have to. I just had this conversation with my son last week. I'm in his bedroom. We're getting ready to redo some crap. So he's pointing to different things, and he points at his trash can in his room and says, "And that's so full." I said, "Empty the goddamn thing." And but the light bulb went off. Like,
right?
Oh my God, I could do that. Like, yeah, if you know it's full and you're complaining to me that you can't fit something in it, dump your trash can.
I did get the very disappointed. Thank you for cleaning the kitchen. As she then continued to clean the kitchen.
Cover up all of your mistakes.
In the proper way.
Right.
I appreciate that you did
But
it.
that's also a power move because they don't ask you to do certain things.
No.
I never have to load the dishwasher because it will drive her crazy if I do.
Top things couples bicker about at home.
Dishwasher to me is like doing laundry. Loading it's easy.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like doing laundry's easy. It's like, I got to fold it. I got to
through
take
on
the
that
dishes
swing.
out.
Right.
Number 4, starting housework but not finishing it. I don't know how you do that.
ADD.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, people just can't. They've got 6 different things going on at once. None of them are completed. Right. None of them are done really well.
Right.
Because no focus is on any individual one.
And I may not
What are we talking about?
I didn't even hear you.
I may not do all of the housework all at once, but if I start a project, it is done.
Right.
I
do one thing at a time, and then I'm done with it.
Exactly.
That is what I do.
That's why I hate when the phone rings.
Oh, no kidding.
That's why I keep the ringer on.
Number 3, not putting clean dishes away. Yeah, I've gotten that one before.
That's the top, right?
Is the dishwasher run? Yeah. Then why are there dishes in it?
You didn't take them out. I'll put them in there. You take them out.
That's right. I loaded that damn thing.
Are we about teamwork?
Oh, sounds like a you problem, babe.
It's bugging you. It's not bugging me.
Anyhow, I'm going to go walk the dog. Get those dishes away.
At least I know where my plate is.
Right. And it's ready to go.
It's ready to roll. Don't worry. I'm emptying it one meal at a time. We're all right.
And that is me every Sunday. Where is all that stuff?
Oh, it's in my dishwasher. And it's clean.
Number 2, leaving the toilet seat up. Now, this is an argument that has been a battle of the sexes forever. Mm-hmm. I took a note out of my brother-in-law's book. He puts down the seat and the lid down every time. Every time. And
I just never lift the lid.
I've done that since.
I work in my aim. Every once in a while, you pee ricochet the thing. Whatever. You wipe it down. Good enough. But ladies, honest to God, just if you tap it, gravity does the rest.
Right.
That's the beauty of gravity. If you even hit the thing by accident, it will just fall down on its own.
The thing about the lid is that the lid solves that problem because everybody will then have the same routine. You have to lift the lid. Sometimes you got to lift the seat as well, and then you put everything down.
You don't just pee through the seat?
I used to, but
I'm not saying I'm excellent
Sometimes
at it.
it's unpredictable,
it's
man.
It's like target practice. Look, a few bullets hit the trees behind the target. I understand, but I cleaned it up.
That's my issue with like there's a bar I go to and they're always like, put the seat down. I'm like, yeah, but you don't want drunk dudes trying to pee through the seat. Some people are too lazy to put it up.
Right.
I'm also like, everybody can sit.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Have a seat.
Like that's like the role of Burning Man. Like everybody sit. We're not trying to get anything on these seats.
Right.
Oh. And sometimes I sit down to pee when it's one of those nights. Like, ooh, I can't.
Don't they have a little urinal on the side that you can use?
No.
Those are porta johns.
Oh.
Well, I'm talking about porta potties. And those things, I always get too much ricochet. Yeah. I'm just telling you, I have a buddy, he always sits when he pees, and also because it's so loud sometimes.
There's also so much splatter.
There is. Yeah.
But this is without a doubt the number one thing that couples bicker about at home. It's not the toilet seat. It's not the dishes. It's leaving the lights on.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I'd like to do it in the dark, damn it.
We grew up in the energy crisis.
Right.
Turn the lights on.
Sure.
You know how much energy that is? And when they did
I'm
the
not
math,
paying to light the whole doggone neighborhood.
it's
exactly
like
right.
$4.
I mean, trust me, we also grew up in the seatbelt generation.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone before us, not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. I mean, we learned. You put that seatbelt
First thing
on.
my kids do.
Put that seatbelt on.
Exactly. A pilot en route to Cabo threatened passengers that he would turn the plate around.
Why?
And I will tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-421-ROCK.
When 4x4 isn't enough, you need 4xE. Check out the incredible lineup of 4xE vehicles only from Jeep, like the Jeep Wrangler 4xE, the #1 selling hybrid in America, or the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE, the most advanced Jeep Grand Cherokee yet. Right now, customers may qualify for a $7,500 tax credit until February 28th. Experience the power of 4xE. Visit Jeep.com today. This incentive is offered by a third party. Amount of tax credit might vary for each individual taxpayer. Federal tax credit is subject to change without notice. Consult the tax professional for details and eligibility requirements. Not all buyers will qualify. Jeep and the Jeep Grill are registered trademarks of FCA US LLC.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, the podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
All right, we made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles. Now, understand roughly 11% of registered vehicles in Virginia have personalized plates. That's the most of any state.
My brother has one.
Part of the reason they also have the cheapest cost to personalize your plates, right? So in Virginia, it costs $10. North Carolina, it's around $20. DC is $100, right? So it's cheap to do. People have fun. But people, of course, they want to push the boundaries of what they can get away with, and it's always entertaining. They just want to test to see if the DMV is paying attention. Now, there's a link to hundreds of rejected plates just from this year alone. Keep in mind, it's the end of August, but they already have it up for 2021. There are hundreds of them. Most of them I cannot share on these broadcast airwaves. But here's a small sample of some of the ones that have been turned down. SWMPAZZ. Swamp ass. That's right. The DMV figured it out and said no. SLOAS. Slow ass. DMV caught that one.
What's wrong with that?
OMGWTF.
Oh my God, what the?
Yeah, they figured out. This one I love. It's UFUGLY. You fugly. I don't think that.
What's wrong with that?
Mike and I's personal favorite is Yeehaw MF. So just yeehaw, mother. I think that's great.
That one,
what's wrong with
past that?
A lot of these are okay.
And then there's a few where they're not trying to be clever. They just straight up do the words. Fart car, turned down. Semen, turned down. Cocaine, turned down. Pig butt, turned down. Poop man, turned down. And this one, which I think if you want to put this on your own car, you should be able to. Racist. It just lets people know.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, check it out for yourself. I'm telling you, Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles, they have their list from this current year, last year, and 2020. And it is, like I said, most of them I cannot share, but they are hysterical.
It's up on the KISW Facebook page.
Oh, you did put it up there?
I did. It's
excellent, man. It's
boy, Mike.
Yeah, if you take a second, you're kind of like, what is that? Oh, God, yeah.
Is that why we were talking about dumpsters today?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
they literally wanted C dumpster. No, C hooker.
Yeah.
It was a dumpster hooker.
It's dumpster.
Yeah. I mean, just, wow. Anyway, we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The men's room presents Profile This.
And Steve at Thrill Hill, could you please, everyone, how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hola! All right, Paul, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
All right, you got your choice of one of three stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs, We have bite me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Well, I'm a big fan of drugs, so we'll go with that one.
All right, Pablo, here is your story. A man high on drugs attacked a police officer, proclaimed himself as a god, and then had sexual relations with a tree. 41-year-old Kenneth Crowder, he was seen running naked through the Brevard County community. He was then stopped by a police officer and charged with resisting arrest with violence. The officer used a taser. The Crowder, he pulled the electric probes from his body, then punched the officer, and then tried to stab the cop with the cop's own badge. Well, the officer then punched the suspect back. Keep in mind, as the officer was punching the suspect back, the suspect announced that he was, in fact, Thor. You know, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And guess what? He's not. Anyway, he was charged with resisting arrest with violence after police managed to finally subdue him. We end this with the aristocrats. But the question is, what was naked tree-humping Thor high on? PCP, flakka, bath salts, or cocaine?
Oh, that's going to be difficult.
Where'd you say it was?
Yeah, Florida, Brevard County.
Florida. Oh, okay, Florida. That narrows it down a little bit to probably either PCP or bath salts. Had sex with a tree.
Yes.
I've never done PCP and I've never done bath salts, but I'm going to lean towards PCP just from the amount of violence this man has exhibited.
And I don't know if was he naked?
Oh, well, I just put that in my head.
Humped a tree.
Okay.
I mean, he did hump a tree, so either way.
He was probably naked.
Usually they point that out. That is not in the stories. I don't believe he was.
Paul, I'm going to go on your team. I'm going to go PCP.
Dynamite.
Team PCP.
I'm going to go bath salts.
Bath salts from 10. Okay. What was his tree humping Thor on? PCP, flakka, bath salts, or cocaine? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Hey, how you doing? All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Category Shrugs on profile list. Man attacked a police officer, said he was God or Thor.
He was Thor, the god of thunder.
The arresting officer and had sex with a tree. Apparently he was on drugs. Question is, was it PCP, flakka, bath salts, or cocaine?
And you're right, it's weird that the guy that does that is on drugs, but he was. The guy who said he's Thor and had sex with a tree. But Paul, we asked you that very same question. What drug was he on? We will start with the Ted Smith.
Now,
you went with bath salt. There's a bit of a caveat, but you went with bath salts. But however, that is not the correct answer. And Paul, you agree with Miles, or Miles agreed with Paul. I don't remember which order it went, but you both said PCP.
Yep, I agree with Paul.
I don't believe Paul when he said he's never tried PCP. He just sounds like a PCP guy, right?
Yeah.
You're flying a PCP right now.
I do have P in my name.
There you go. But you went PCP.
No,
sorry.
What is this wacky stuff?
It was not PCP. It was flakka.
I was going to say it's not cocaine.
It's not cocaine. But here's the thing about flakka. So I actually looked up what flakka specifically is. So Ted, and a bit of a caveat to give you some partial credit, flakka is
a PCP derivative?
No, it's kind of a specialized bath salt, much like crack has cocaine in it.
Sure.
It's not cocaine, it's crack. So flakka, I guess, starts with bath salt. So you start great, and then you make it worse.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Now for all TV news all time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, just sorry. I had to hit a button there. Something was a little strange. Volume button. Now I'm back. All right. Miles, have you watched any of the nature shows I've been telling you to watch this week?
I have not.
All right.
Yes.
Thrill, I assume you haven't.
You know I haven't.
Last night was a no TV night for me. It was a record night. So I skipped it.
Why not?
Why no TV?
Yeah.
Because it was a record night. I listened to tunes all night. Sometimes I just get stoned and like flipping through a magazine and listen to music.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could get stoned and watch nature shows. It's just as equally fun.
I typically get stoned when I'm watching nature shows.
I had like a Jason Sudeikis article I wanted to read. There was like a bunch of stuff from GQ, and I was just like, I'm like, I've had this stack. I should start reading it. So I pounded through like 4 magazines and listened to tunes.
So I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but North America, like sometimes you forget just because you live here like for instance, on the latest episode of the podcast, right? Like Cobb's not there, so Matt and I are talking about MCTV. I was talking about Montana, and he had been to the Grand Canyon.
All right.
So he was talking about you go to this one side, like there's nobody speaking English, or they all have accents, and it's like, right, like sometimes I feel like we take for granted what's already here, like anybody would.
When you live in Seattle, you don't go to the Space Needle much. You go to the Space Needle when someone from out of town comes into town, and you go, oh, God, right.
Have you been on the wheel yet?
I have not.
Okay. You go on and you're like, this is awesome. But someone has to fly 3,000 miles for me to do it. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah. I feel like that the wheel, to me, like, I don't know. I'm just not going in the wheel with a buddy. I feel like you either got to be with a kid or with a lady.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even last night, one was about about the Northlands, right?
All right.
Just like Cal. They're never getting that bear back because he's in the Northland. So, it starts with like Alaskan stuff, but then they're talking about Mount Rainier, and it's weird, like marmots. Like we talk about seeing them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're kind of big.
And they're only there.
Really?
Yeah, on Mount Rainier.
Great jacket, too.
Right.
They make great stuff.
But like, you're not going to find them on another mountain around town, around the state or anything. They're just on Mount Rainier.
That's weird.
They hibernate, and then they eat most of their, they spend the rest of the time when they're awake eating flowers.
Huh. That's good.
But it was just crazy.
Flowers,
like,
biggest waste of money ever.
It's like this unique animal and stuff. And I was like, I remember being on Mount Rainier doing a day hike and being like, what the hell is that little bugger?
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? He was eating.
And they're not shy. They'll run right up to you. They don't scatter. For some reason, they just like, hey, what's up? How are you? I'm on my way.
I mean, I think part of that is because you can't. I mean, can you imagine?
Where are you going to go?
Well, I was going to say, can you imagine if somebody was like, oh yeah, there's one, bang,
yeah,
right? Like,
so they marmot.
So they have no fear of human because human doesn't hunt them. Whereas like other animals, like deer and elk or whatever, probably generally are kind of a little more skittish.
Sure,
but yeah. And then they had a whole thing on Mount St. Helens, which it is amazing how nature works. So when Mount St. Helens blows, right? It's 1980. It destroys everything, right? It's like the force of, I don't know, like 100 atomic bombs or something. So it's a wasteland. Mm-hmm. All the trees go into these little lakes and stuff that are up there.
But there's a couple lakes up there that are crazy because of that.
Right,
they came back real quick.
Okay. Do you know how they came back?
I don't, but they had all this vegetation coming up from the bottom of the lakes and stuff. And it was just amazing how quickly that ecosystem repaired itself.
Because one animal.
Hold on. Let me guess. Is it a bird, a mammal?
Deer?
You had it.
Bees?
Beavers.
Oh, no kidding.
So the land is destroyed. The beavers kind of stroll up there, and they're like, we like damming us up. And there's
a lake.
The lakes
Nobody's here.
Right, they're full of dead trees and everything. So the beavers start making their ponds and everything. It slows down some of the water going down the hill, so it makes some of the most rich water or whatever. Right.
Okay.
So the beavers stay up there on Mount St. Helens. They thrive. Then the water goes down, and then all the vegetation, the trees, that's why the green stuff is back. They thought it was going to take like 100 years, but because of these beavers up there doing their little beaver
beavers.
I'm with you. And beavers obviously can be a pain for a lot of people if you have
obviously, but it's just funny, because as a scientist, you go, as a result of Mount St. Helens, it'll be hundreds of years before. And the beaver's like, we got you.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
Thank God
we live here. Yeah. We'll restore.
Thank God humans don't hunt that.
Beavers?
Yes.
Well, you trap
That's
it.
a hustler joke.
Oh. You don't hunt it, man. You trap it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen people trap beavers.
Do people eat beaver?
I've never heard of that one.
All right, so I watched. All right, I've watched a lot of those. I watched a lot of those Alaska shows where they trap beavers all the time. They definitely use the fur and the pelts. I think
they do, especially in the 70s.
I think they still might eat the beaver meat. I mean, I feel like when you live out there,
we can't get through this. You know this.
It's all right.
We're too soft work, man. Well, they probably did eat it.
Jesus.
I mean, they did. They had to.
All right, it's not just that, but these woodland creatures, also because of the way the water trickles down now slowly and stuff, it goes all the way, like it affects that it goes all the way out to the ocean. Then when you get out to the ocean, you realize that, like, I didn't realize it, like we have the largest, like, salmon runs in the world.
Oh yeah. Right, yeah, that much I did know. Yep.
You know who else shows up? And people think, oh man, I like dolphins, I like seals, they're so friendly. Wrong. They're opportunists.
Yeah.
They're bastards.
Yeah.
So when these salmon gotta get in, get into the river. I think it's like Northern California or Oregon or whatever. Like these salmon are already struggling to get in there. And then I'll be damned. Here comes all these seals. And the seals like surf in the waves to make themselves faster and just eat them. And then seals aren't even friendly with each other. Like if you're a bigger seal, like if Miles is taller, but like if Miles is eating, like I just come over halfway through his meal and I'm just like, and he's just like, all right, dude, here, you can have my other half of the burger. And it's just like, damn.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's a seal joke.
Seals are crazy?
Yeah. No, seal.
Crazy.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh.
Seal joke.
You don't have to point to your face.
Right. I wonder, like, honestly, that's the only thing
I know.
I'm sorry. What do you want? Heidi Klum reference?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody here says, come out to the Washington Trappers Association Rendezvous. They serve beaver meat.
I wonder how the beaver, is the tail of the beaver edible? The thing, because it's a...
The tail, I would think it's too tough, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
All the work it gets.
I know we're going to go back here, but when people are actually trapping beaver and you live in those areas, you eat all the meat you can, whether it's deer,
I send shots over.
Remember, though...
Candy juice.
That's the beaver trap, a shot.
Candy style.
Candy style.
That's something to remember in Canada. Beaver tails are just a sweet treat.
Oh,
it's like
elephant ears or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do we name sweet treats after animals? Beaver tails, right?
Bear claw,
elephant ear.
I don't want to go on a tangent here either, but
go ahead. No, you go for it.
In Montana, we stopped at like a gas station, right? And next to the gas station is one of those old timey country stores.
Yeah, all right.
So I went in there and I was like, "Ooh, what is that?" And it's like a different. It's not a bear claw like a donut, but it has like cashews in it, and then caramel on the inside, and the whole thing was like,
you're kidding me,
dark or white chocolate. It might have been one of the best things I've ever had in my life.
Huh. Jeez.
Yeah, but also I was like, and I'll take one of those White Claws, and it's like a teenage girl working there, and she's like, "Oh, what?" I was like, bear claw.
White claw.
I called it a White Claw.
She's like, I got some in my trunk. Did you do a pickleback
in Montana?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a ton of pickleback.
Okay, I was going to say that's part of like the right of, if you go there, I figured you need to get a pickleback.
Yeah, you should. But some of the bar, like I'm saying, like
how did Nickelback
like
not go by pickleback?
Go to like New Orleans, you probably should have a hurricane or
Correct.
At least one.
Yeah. Well, and Moose's, though, which, again, if you're ever in Kalispell, you got to go to Moose's. But Moose's doesn't serve liquor. It's just a beer bar, pizza, peanuts on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. You're right, though. And I got to say real quick, if you're in New Orleans, if you're like, you can get a hurricane up and down the street, but go to, is it O'Brien's? Like where they have the little courtyard.
On the corner there.
Right, where they invented the drink. Mm-hmm. That is one of the best drinks I've ever had in my life. And rum drinks, man, they will sneak up on you. But seriously, watch these nature shows, and like I was just blown away again. I was like, the Northwest is unreal, man. There's so much beautiful stuff up here.
For sure.
And the fact that mountain was basically dead, and then the beavers built their ponds and like brought it back, and all the vegetation. It's just like
the beavers don't play that.
They don't.
It's okay, Miles St. Helen. You think you're bad? We bring her back to vegetation. Helping out the seal. You think the seals and the beavers collude? Like the seals say, "Listen, I know you're a beaver. Do us a solid, bro. There's a bunch of dead wood in the lakes up there. So it already helps you out. If you do that, we will have salmon for frickin' days."
But it was like everything.
It's not just the seals, dude. When those salmon are leaving the ocean, I mean, you got orcas showing up. I mean, everything is showing up to get them.
What's the problem with being tasty?
Well, the bigger lake on top of the mountain, it started like actually healing itself pretty quick, and all this vegetation was coming up from the bottom of it too. So the fish in there were apparently insane because they were just getting so much nutrients and eating so much stuff that they had huge ass fish in this lake for the first time ever. For whatever reason, they weren't that big before, but now they're like, we got this whole deal. Like everything else is dead. We're taking over. We're eating all this crap.
So Mount St. Helens was a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, look, it's always that joke, but it's like, right, nature will heal itself.
Yeah.
And like, if we, like, do you remember that show that was like, if humans were gone, like one day you just wake up and they're
and all
gone.
the plants and all the things.
Take over the city. You'd have eagles living. I mean, there'd be eagles right here setting up a nest in our studio because we're on the 14th floor.
Strangely enough, the pandemic kind of brought a lot of that back.
Coyotes running through Chicago.
Sure.
But I mean, everyone's been talking about how many rabbits they've seen in your yard. And I'm like, there's a reason for that.
Oh, yeah. Seeing them on First Hill is trippy. And like Capitol Hill. Like, what are you doing up here?
There, especially. Like, this is still a densely populated urban area. They're like, no worries.
Yeah. Like, Mike's got some down at his house. That's just because somebody let a house rabbit out.
Oh,
Well,
man, you know them house rabbits.
Man,
Well,
you have
I
no
mean,
idea
they're
how
big.
quickly they have sex. And he's like, boom, 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 out.
Yeah.
Next guy.
Much like me.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I also didn't realize that with the salmon, like you got to find a mate, but like the dudes are all like puffed up, right? And then the ladies come by, and then like as soon as she drops an egg, he's
fertilizing.
Fertilizing.
Yes.
Thank you. But then that's the other kind of sad thing is that little dude's all tuckered out. He just dies.
Yeah.
That's how tired he is.
Yep.
Hey, he died doing what he loves.
Okay.
And then the bears come in and eat him.
So the bears do eat them, some of the eagles, but also that those bodies of these salmon sink into the soot and everything in the rivers, right?
Nutrients.
When that flows all the way back out to the river, that's why near Salmon Nest is some of the like greenest, most healthiest trees you will ever see in your
Really?
life. Yeah. I mean, trust me, dude. It was a whole.
Mind-blown.
It was just like, huh. So it's
Water
like
your plants with salmon juice, people.
yeah, like you feel bad for the salmon. Also, I just feel bad for the dude that like he had one shot and then he's like, oh, God. Like look, I get tired afterwards,
Sure.
but I'm not gonna die. Like my man's out, but it's like even his little dead body is helping other stuff.
Yes,
happen.
just like cemeteries.
Let's see. DJ from the Connors, Michael Fleischman. He's not returning for season 5 of the Connors. That premieres on September 21st. Basically, he's been directing some of the episodes and stuff, and he's just like, yeah, I just have other stuff I want to direct and this and that.
Oh, okay. Not
Yeah,
a bad
so
thing.
it's a good reason he's not returning, not just something random. Help me out here, Miles. Say something. I'm trying to find a bed.
Oh, you know what, man? I tell you what. I think if you're to do something, the Sounders kind of been put on hold because there's a huge rainstorm in Orlando right now.
Correct.
The Mariners are in action, taking on the Detroit Tigers. If you're staying in tonight, if you like sports, those are two good things to watch.
And if you're like me, check out House of Dragon. I say that because I've been waiting 2 goddamn weeks to do it, but it has been so exceptionally busy in my life that I can't just sit down
and there's
to watch
more
the freaking episode.
And there's more nature shows on tonight as well.
Obviously, they've got a bunch of concerts and everything else happening downtown. So if you're staying at home, you get a ticket. Not doing that, might as well watch something good. Maybe a movie. Who knows?
Or do what Miles does. Put on a record, smoke some weed.
Look, man, I do that like once a week.
Yeah.
I'm being
It's a
dead
good
serious.
thing,
I
yeah.
just need to listen to some tunes. I just got the new Silk Sonic. I put that on.
How was
I
it?
ordered it. It's
Really?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Okay.
I love old school R&B, and I was just like, this is so lyrically more brilliant than the dun, 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 dun. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. I-55 in Tennessee closes down after a massive Alfredo sauce spill. Meanwhile, a Southwestern pilot tells passengers airdropping nudes will keep the plane still. Huge shipment of baby wipes was really $12 million worth of cocaine. The amount of tomatoes spilled on California freeway is truly insane. And a woman calls 911 after getting stuck upside down at the gym. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
Our top story we take to the skies where a pilot had enough. The plane was making its way to Cabo when some passengers decided that they would have a little bit of fun. It's become something of a growing trend for people to get onto their phones and airdrop pictures of themselves to random passengers about the plane, most of which are nude photos. The pilot came out over the PA system and threatened to turn this plane around if they didn't stop sending the photos.
The plane was going to Cabo.
It was.
You know that they're so
going on vacation.
Did the pilot get some of these as well?
Yes.
Or did,
That's how he knew, is that his phone kept pinging like, hey, someone's airdropped two pictures.
His phone?
Yeah.
Okay, that means they're D-pics.
Someone caught video of the pilot's address and shared it to social media where the general consensus was a feeling like mom scolding her kids in the back of the car. Yeah. So everything was all hunky-dory except for the fact that while he's flying there, his phone keeps pinging up saying, hey, someone's trying to airdrop you a picture. He knew exactly what it was.
He's tired of looking at penises.
You know what? He might have opened up a couple. I never actually thought about that,
He
but you're right.
probably did, right? Because it dings. You're going to check to see what it is.
Sure.
There's a penis. You go, okay. And then it dings again like, there's another penis. Finally, if you send me one more D-pic, we're turning this damn plane around.
for you.
I just think it's ridiculous that like pilots now have to use the same thing every dad's been saying on vacation for centuries.
You know why? Because it still works. I will turn this plane around.
No more.
And the passengers all yelled in unison, are we there yet?
Airdrop has become the new chat roulette.
Yeah, basically.
Remember that game? That was fun.
Is that just Apple?
Yes, I believe so.
All right.
Thank heavens. I never get airdropped anything.
Nope.
Or maybe I just have it turned off, which is probably a good thing anyway. So there you go.
I wouldn't even know what it is if my phone dinged.
Someone sent you a photo.
Like, why? I'm just that guy. Like, just look at the picture. Now, why'd you send it?
Feels like a setup.
I know it's a penis.
It's probably some smoking hot chick.
I know.
3 rows behind you. You're just like, nope, not opening it.
In other news, U.S. border agents have done it again. Patrols were conducting their inspections of people coming across the border when they decided to do some additional screening of a trailer carrying a shipment of baby wipes.
Huh.
They walked the dogs about the truck and used other non-intrusive methods of screening the haul, which came up positive for cocaine. All in all, agency is more than 1,500 pounds of cocaine in the bust.
I mean, I see people doing a lot of cocaine. They need some white.
Yeah.
It should be sold together.
Wiping your butt with a brick of cocaine.
Oh, for real, though.
Golly.
That would be nuts, isn't it?
Yes, it would. ask Stevie Nicks.
My kid's not going to sleep.
That goes right to your system.
It just launches right in there, man. A woman in Ohio was forced to make a, quote, embarrassing phone call to 911. She was at the gym along with a friend when she decided to use one of those inverted back decompressor devices that, you turn upside down.
Oh, yeah.
Hang like a bat, right? Well, her friend was in the other room. She locked her ankles in and inverted herself, enjoying the stretch for a while, but the problem came when she tried to get back up. Something had malfunctioned with the machine, and it had gone a bit too far than normal, making her unable to right herself. The thing wouldn't actually activate to bring her back up. She tried to call out to her friend, but they were unable to hear her, and after about 5 minutes and seeing no other options, she called 911 from her smartwatch and was helped in short order. She even admitted, like, this is embarrassing. I'm just hanging upside down in the gym. My friend is in the other room. He's probably plugged into his AirPods. Like, he doesn't hear it.
I go to one of those gyms.
Sure.
So it's an anytime gym. Use a key card to get in.
Exactly.
They do have these, kind of like I've fallen and I can't get up necklaces. That you can wear. So if you, let's just say that you can only work out at 2 o'clock in the morning because you have a job that doesn't get off until 1 a.m. or whatever,
That's
right?
not bad.
There's nobody in there.
Right.
So you're the only one in there.
So if you're benching and nobody's spotting you.
That is exactly right. If you happen to be in the squat rack and something bad happens, like they have these little things, man. If you can crawl over, just hit the button. Like,
if you can, yeah.
If you can get there.
If you can,
but
right.
Thank God. And I hate people who have their phone on them in the gym all the time. They're always on it because they don't get off the machines quick enough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they're taking too much time in between sets. They just sit there and look at their phone. But in this instance,
take all the time.
thank God she had the phone on her, or else she wouldn't have been able to call 911.
It wasn't even her phone. It was her watch.
Oh, it was her watch.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, if I'm squatting at the gym alone, I'm using the Smith machine.
The Smith machine?
Right, is that the way? It's like in the rack.
Oh, yeah.
It's just easier as opposed to just like falling over squatting.
I thought that was just the name for your working out setup. I'm just using the Smith machine.
Goddamn right.
Boy, up and up.
Every member of our family.
See these quads? See these calves?
Smith machine.
Damn. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. We got Big Dummy, the head chef, is back. Ted's Meat and Potatoes. The lovely Taryn Daly is up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we'll be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so, so don't quote me on that. So until next time, please, do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
We're Jet and Black. For over 80 years, we've been your locally owned and family-operated appliance store. Shopping here is just different. You see, it starts with our appliance experts, who are experienced in jobs of all sizes. So if you're remodeling your kitchen and looking for luxury, or shopping for an entire apartment building and need durability, our team is trained to find the appliances you need at competitive prices. Judd & Black, your hometown appliance store. Online at juddblack.com.